Game 3 of the 2024 campaign for the Cropdusters, and it's against a familiar foe, one that they beat 4 times in the regular season, but in the playoffs, the Bethesda Big Train had the Cropdusters number. Hello and welcome into our radio-style coverage of the Cropdusters on the road here in Bethesda. I'm Jish Sokolsky, joined by Jack Feldman. And Jack, what a phenomenal win it was last night for the Cropdusters. The bats were working, the pitching was working, but what impressed you the most?
It's got to be the offense, 16-6 victory, just relentless at bats, even when the game got a little bit out of hand at the end in the 8th and 9th inning. Cropdusters were still putting up tremendous at bats, and they're going to be looking to continue that today against Bethesda Big Train.
It's not going to be easy. You look up and down this Bethesda lineup, nothing but Division I Power 5 starters for the most part. It starts with their pitcher, Peyton Prescott, the pitcher from Jacksonville.
Jish, 32 Division I players on the Big Train roster. We've talked about this rivalry. We've talked about how intense these games can be. Cropdusters took 3 out of 4 regular season games from Bethesda Big Train last season, lost to them in the playoffs, and they're looking to continue that success again this year. Jish, this should be a good one.
Absolutely. For some teams, when you look at all this Division I talent, it can scare you. Maybe it strikes a little bit of fear, but this is what the Big Train does year in, year out. They always are getting the premier guys. It seems like every year they have a new guy drafted to the major leagues, but that kind of inspires Coach Leader. If there's one team that the Cropdusters don't like, it's the Bethesda Big Train, and for good reason. Even in the Cropdusters' short history, they were one of the only teams that really gave them problems last year. The Big Train did go on to win the entire Cal Ripken League. The Cropdusters had some very memorable moments against them.
Jish, Big Train is the cream of the crop of the Ripken League. 6 championships in the past 7 years. Legendary head coach in Sal Colangelo. He's in his 20th season as the head coach of Bethesda Big Train. The stadium, the atmosphere, every other team in the Ripken League is trying to emulate what the Big Train have been able to do over the past couple of decades.
Well, the Cropdusters bats will get their first crack at this Big Train. It starts with Josh Reinhold, the leadoff hitter, playing shortstop tonight from Christopher Newport University. He's had a smoking hot start to the season, Jack, hitting .571 in 2 starts. Included a 3-hit game to start things off, and he had a knock last night as well.
Josh Reinhold has been excellent for the Cropdusters. Went 1 for 3 last night with 2 RBIs and 2 walks, and he's looking to get off to a similar start tonight.
3 runs as well for the shortstop, played third base last night, but he steps into the righty's batter's box, and we're just about ready to go. Righty versus righty, the first matchup of the game. Peyton Prescott, the ace for the Big Train, throws with that right hand.
Peyton Prescott, the Jacksonville pitcher, the sophomore.
Started a few games early on in his collegiate career, but as the season progressed and games got bigger, not quite. First ball is outside and low on the slider. A lot of heat on it for ball 1.
Absolutely. Whenever you face Big Train, you know you're going to be dealing with velocity. You know you're going to be dealing with nasty stuff. So it's interesting to see early on how the Cropdusters fare.
Josh Reinhold takes a ball high for ball 2. It's 2 balls to no strikes, none out. Top of the first, no score. Prescott has tried both sides of the strike zone, top and bottom. That's chopped up the middle and through for a base hit. Reinhold halts his run after taking the first base, so that'll be the first knock of the night and comes on the leadoff hitter, Josh Reinhold.
Reinhold continues his excellent start. It's not easy to lead off a game. You're still getting the body moving, still getting loose, and to be able to take a fastball, take it right back up the middle, that's super impressive.
Pitch was placed a little bit high in the strike zone, too. He still got over it and chopped it down low up the middle.
Cropdusters now set up perfectly. We've talked about Ahi's power. He's looking to put a ball in the gap.
Ahi Okoje up to bat for the Cropdusters. He pops one to the sky for the first pitch he takes. Strike 1.
Jish, we might be in foul ball territory here.
We are sitting on the first base side, just about diagonal with the lefty batter's box, lower left corner. We could definitely catch a foul ball. 0-1 the count with a runner at first, no outs. Here's the pitch. Takes that one right down the middle for strike 2. Little movement side to side on the pitch, so Ahi Okoje is down 0-2. Last night, Okoje came in as a pinch runner and went around to hit 2, knocked one in with his bat. He went 1 for 1 with a run. 0-2. Ball high with not a lot of speed. Ahio Koje gains some ground, and the count is 1-2 with no score in the top of the first.
You saw Prescott on that 0-1 pitch throw that slider that had some nice shape to it.
Josh Reinhold goes as Ahio Koje pops one foul to stay alive at 1-2. Reinhold settles back at first, and that's something to keep an eye on, Jack. Reinhold has stolen a base in both of his games thus far this season. Successful in both.
Yes, Reinhold has been an absolute menace on the base paths. 2 stolen bases last night. And this could be a situation where the Cropdusters want to be aggressive early.
But now Prescott knows. He tries the throw back to first, not on time. Reinhold slides hands first back to the base to stay safe. 1-2 the count, back at the plate for Koje. No outs, and Reinhold the sole base runner at first. Here's the pitch. That is high and outside for ball 2.
Koje is a guy that Coach Leader wants to get going early on. Great statistics at Hartford Community College. Looking to keep it up as we head into summer ball.
Righty on righty still, Koje in that righty's batter's box with an upright batting stance. Throw back to first, not on time, but a good challenge. Reinhold beat the throw back by just about a second or so with the hands first slide.
Yeah, Prescott really paying a lot of attention to Reinhold at first, and for good reason.
2-2 the count. Throw back. Not there. The first baseman dropped it. Probably could have gotten Reinhold there.
Yeah, it looks like if Wesley was able to secure the baseball there, that could have been a bang-bang play at first.
Prescott getting his first start on the mound for the Big Train after coming in as a pinch hitter in their home opener against the Giants 2 days ago. Koje lines one up the middle, settling down in shallow center, and that'll land in the glove of the center fielder, and the throwback to first is on time for the double play. Reinhold a little too aggressive on the base paths, hoping that ball would fall from Koje, but instead, a double play is turned off of a fly to center field and the throwback to first. We're now at 2 outs with no score.
Yeah, Jish, it looked like Reinhold just didn't get the best read off the bat. That ball was staying up all the way and just danced a little bit too far off of first base, and they made him pay.
So now Ryan Boma's up to bat with 2 outs and none on. First pitch is high and inside for ball 1. On the changeup.
Boma getting his second start at third base. We talked about how he's not traditionally a third baseman, but he's going to be playing there this summer a lot.
1-0, that one's right through down the belly of the strike zone, low in the zone, but finds it for strike 1. 1-1 the count for the righty Boma. Prescott, 1 out away from getting out of this first inning, 1-2-3. Here's the pitch. He swings through and gets nothing, strike 2.
Boma's a guy we've been talking about all season long so far. Really impressive start.
Has a hit in both of his games. 2 RBIs off a single yesterday. Pitch is in there on the outside portion of the strike zone for strike 3. That'll end the inning. A 1-2-3. No runner, well, 1 runner on after 1 hit. And none left on the base paths as we reach out 3. And the Cropdusters defense gets going with Alex Kuehn, the righty from Millersville, taking the mound for the Cropdusters when we return. Stay with us on YouTube. No score at the bottom of the first inning. The Cropdusters went down 1-2-3 at the top. Jish, Sokolsky, and Jack Feldman on the call for this game between the Cropdusters and the Big Train in Bethesda. Taking the mound for the Crops is Alex Kuehn, the righty from Millersville.
Jish, Alex Kuehn, 21.7 innings pitched at Millersville this year, so he's one of the more experienced guys on the roster, has a lot of college innings under his belt. He's a junior upperclassman, so he's a guy that can come in here in mid-season form and dominate right from the beginning.
His lone win of the season, or excuse me, one of his 3 wins, was a 5-inning, 5-strikeout win in relief over Lock Hayden, but the lone game that he started this season was a loss. So we'll see how he does in summer ball against the Big Train. First pitch is low for the Big Train leadoff hitter to make it ball 1. That's Jordan Crossland, the shortstop from Maryland, who's ranked the number 1 shortstop in Virginia, according to Maryland, in the class of 23. He fouls one off backwards for strike 1.
Yeah, Crossland looking to be aggressive early on. You know, big prospect out of high school. Goes to Maryland, big school, so he's going to be facing all types of pitching in the Ripken League this summer.
1-1 the count, no score. Here's the pitch. That is cracked into right field. Ehia Koje can't field it. It lands in front of him for a base hit.
That's a really good job there by Crossland just to adjust to the off-speed, slice it into left field there, and a good job by Koje to keep it ahead of him, keep it in front of him, or Crossland at first.
That's Crossland's first hit of the season after going 0 for 4 against the Giants 2 days ago. So now it'll be Jaden Bastian for the Big Train up to bat. The righty goes to Jacksonville University. Takes the first pitch inside, but it's in the strike zone for strike 1. 0-1 the count with a runner on, no outs. Jordan Crossland, the runner at first. No score still. The bottom of this first inning. Here's the pitch. He sends that one right up the middle and in the air. Well hit, but caught on the run by the center fielder, Puvel, to put him away for out number 1.
So now that's 2 off-speed pitches thrown by Kuehn. Both have been hit pretty hard. He sticks with
well into the outfield, too. Both of them got some altitude, some air under it. First one landed, the second one, a great defensive play from Puvel to make the range over to the right field gap and make the play.
Yeah, Big Train has been all over the breaking ball here in the first inning.
So 1 out, that one's kept on the ground and through to the right field for a base hit, the second of the inning. That one belongs to the 3-hole hitter, Davin Whitaker, the right fielder from East Carolina. Didn't even get to introduce him. He's already on the board.
This is what Big Train does. They're not going to strike out much. They're going to put the ball in play. They're going to hit the ball hard. So this is going to be a real test for this Cropdusters defense. You know, we talked earlier in the week with assistant coach Mike Evans. He said he was really impressed by this Cropdusters infield defense. So first real challenge of the season for them.
They're swinging early in the counts. 1 out, 2 on. Here's the pitch from Kuehn. That one's high for ball 1.
Cropdusters have Josh Reinhold back at shortstop, Ryan Boma playing third, and they're going to go with Carter Hines at second.
They'll need the defense of this infield to perhaps turn a double play. That'll be how they get out of this inning. Wesley up to bat for the Big Train. He swings through one and misses a big swing, but can't get any part of the ball for strike 1. Even things up at 1-1 with 1 out and 2 on. And we've seen big swings from Wesley this season. He has the lone home run for the Big Train this season.
Yeah, he's the 4-hitter in the lineup. He's looking to do some damage.
Slider is low and away for ball 2 for Alex Kuehn. 2-1 the count, 1 out, no score at the bottom of this first inning with 2 on. The runner in scoring position is the leadoff hitter, Jordan Crossland. Kuehn standing tall, takes a look back, and delivers from the stretch. Kept on the ground to Kuehn, who fields it. Throw to 2 is on the line for out 2, and the throw back to first is successful for the double play. A 1-6-3 double play to end the inning. Alex Kuehn is probably breathing a sigh of relief after that one.
Just what the doctor ordered. We talk about momentum points. We talk about where a game can change. Getting a ground ball like that, get the double play, get out of the inning. That's big.
Athletic play from the pitcher. 2 hits striked across the scoreboard, but it ends in the double play without any score after 1 inning. Cropdusters 0, Big Train 0. The Crops Bats gets going again at the top of this second inning when we return. Stay with us on YouTube. Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field. Thanks for joining us on YouTube. The last inning ended with a double play to keep the game scoreless, 0 apiece. Jish, Sokolsky, and Jack Feldman. Jack, what did you see on that double play?
That's just one of those things where before the play, Kuehn is going to communicate with Reinhold, his shortstop. He's going to say, you and me. Reinhold knows he's covering the bag on the double play back to the pitcher. Kuehn knows he's throwing it to Reinhold. So they had the communication great, executed the play great, and got out of the big jam.
Great defense leads to some more Cropdusters offense. No runs for either side yet at the top of this second inning, but that could change right here with the big bat of Jimmy Kirk, returner for the Cropdusters, and he did some damage to the big train last year. Went 6 for 17 with 5 RBI, 2 homers, including one over the opposite field in this house to give the Cropdusters a go-ahead victory, 5-3, and then again in the playoffs he did it. First pitch from Prescott, he checks his swing, but it's in there, top right corner for strike one. Little off speed, and Jimmy Kirk second-guessed himself at the plate.
Jimmy Kirk has been an absolute wrecking ball the past couple seasons in the Redkin League.
5 homers each of the past 2 seasons. Big swing and a miss for strike 2.
Yeah, it's just not seeing that slider out of the hand, you know. Kirk arrived a little bit late, did not have the opportunity to get as many reps in practice as some of the other guys, so he's still trying to find his timing early on.
The 0-2 on the way. Here's the pitch. He keeps it up the middle, over the hands of the shortstop, and through for a base hit. Jimmy Kirk takes a base after getting a hit last night, and he's now extended that hitting streak to 2, if you will. A miraculous effort from the shortstop Crossland, but he just couldn't get glove on ball.
And that's just a great job of adjusting mid-at-bat. You know, Kirk saw the slider earlier on, sees another one later, down and away, goes down and gets it and punches it into left center field for the hit.
No outs and a runner on. Griffin Puvel steps up to bat. Takes the first pitch right up the middle. The shortstop can't handle it. Flips to second, but the throw back to first is not on time. So a fielder's choice will send Jimmy Kirk home on his run to second for out number 1, but Puvel is safe at first.
Yeah, Puvel runs real well. He's going to have to field that cleanly at short if you want a chance to double him up.
A double play ended the Cropdusters, or started the Cropdusters outs in the first inning. So there's a runner on with 1 out. Coy Swanson, the left fielder from Maryland, up to bat. Got the start in game 1, but took a seat on the bench in game 2. First pitch is low and inside for ball 1. Good eye from the lefty. The first lefty that Prescott has had to face tonight.
Swanson had the big double off the wall in the first game of the season. He's been real impressive early on.
Ground rule double. Throw back to first. Not there. Escapes the glove of the first baseman, Wesley, excuse me. So Puvel will stay glued at first. He had a steal in last night's game. So something to keep an eye out, and Prescott definitely is. He doesn't want to play with these base runners at all. 1-0 the count, no score, 1 out in the top of the second inning. Here's the pitch. Swanson lets it go, but it's in there for strike 1.
You know, the Cropdusters have not had a runner in scoring position yet, but they've had some really nice swings, a lot of hard-hit balls. You know, even that ball that Puvel hit to the shortstop, that was laced, so a lot of hard-hit balls early on.
The 1-1 is skied into deep center field. Tracking back is Bastion. He gets under it, not letting the sun get in his eyes. That's good for out number 2. The sun is setting nicely here at Shirley Povich Field, right in our faces on this first base line, but doesn't get in the way of that kind of shady center field area.
We'll get a nice tan, Jish.
Hope so. I didn't put on my sunscreen today.
Made that mistake the other day.
Of course.
Really burnt right now.
Very red.
Not
Speaking
a great
of red,
situation.
we've got the Crimson Tide's very own Sammy Leise up to bat. Sammy Leise, swings right through the first pitch for strike 1, getting no part of the ball. He started in the first game, but was pulled early. A little bit of soreness from catching all day in the hot Southern Maryland sun. That was a 6-3 loss. So Leise looking for redemption. Runner goes. The ball is in there for a strike, and the throw to second is on time as well for out number 3. They caught Griffin Puvel trying to steal, and that will end the inning. So only 1 hit to speak of. Sammy Leise will lead off the top of the 3rd, but for now we're scoreless after 1.5 innings. Big Train look to get on the board in the bottom of the 2nd. Stay with us when we return on YouTube. Well, at this point in Game 1 for the Big Train, they were already up 3-0 on the Giants, but in Game 2 versus the Cropdusters, it's still a scoreless contest after 1. And here in the bottom of the second, Jish, Sokolsky, Jack Feldman on the call, where the part of the order for the Big Train gets to bat. Last time out for the defense of the Cropdusters, they got out of it with an impressive double play initiated by the pitcher, Kuehn.
From Tulane.
Christopher Diaz, the DH for the Big Train tonight. 0 for 1 on the season. Still looking for his first hit. Has an RBI, though.
But 3 walks, that's where he made his money in Game 1 versus the Giants. See what he can do with this count. First pitch is taken high and away for ball 1. Diaz in the lefty batter's box, dealing against the righty. There's quite a few lefties in this Big Train lineup that could give Kuehn some trouble. 1-0, here's the pitch. He checks his swing, but it's in there for strike 1.
Diaz, the Pomona, New York native.
Look at that. Goes to Tulane University. According to his Twitter, he is in the transfer portal. 1-1. He sends it right up the middle and through the gap between the second and shortstop for a base hit. The third of the night for the Big Train. That'll put him on base, his first knock of the season.
Jish, that's another leadoff base runner for the Big Train, and that's another hit off of a breaking zone.
And the Big Train, what they've been doing, they've been working early in these counts. They've been swinging and making a lot of contact. They're sending it right to these same exact spots through the middle of the Cropdusters infield. That seems to be the sweet spot.
Kuehn looking to get another ground ball here. And, you know, his breaking ball is a little big. It's a little loopy. Doesn't have the tight spin today. So the Big Train hitters have just been doing a real nice job of staying back, waiting for it to get there, and just hammer it. Line drives up the middle the other way.
The first pitch that he dealt to the second baseman, Landon Franklin, was hit foul for strike 1. So we're at 0-1, no score, no outs and 1 on in the bottom of the second. Ball high for the first ball of the count, 1-1, with no outs and 1 on. Perhaps a pitch just to keep that runner glued at second gave Lice a fighting chance to pop up and make a throw if need be. Now the runner goes. Lice does pop up, and the ball is dropped at second base. The throw was on time. Hines tried diving to his right to make the play, but he couldn't. So Diaz successfully steals second base to put him in scoring position with no outs.
That was a real nice throw by Lice. You know, beat the runner to the base. Hines just couldn't get a handle on it.
So no outs. Good news for Kuehn and Lice is the pitch was a strike, so it's 1-2. No outs, no score. With the first blood at second base potentially. Next pitch, off speed, misses inside for ball 2.
Kuehn just missed outside. That looked real close on that outside corner.
Landon Franklin, the second baseman, up to bat from Kentucky, from Cleveland, Tennessee. Ball high to fill the count with 3 balls and 2 strikes. Last season, Landon Franklin played in the South Florida League, where he was the Rookie of the Year. Now up here in Bethesda, Maryland. The chance to walk. Here's the pitch. He pops it into the sky. Third baseman Boma stares it down, steps to his right, makes the grab for out 1.
It's a great play there by Boma, keeping the runner at second, getting an infield pop-up.
Third base, Carter.
And that's a good job from Kuehn, too, to force that weak contact. That's what you're supposed to do with the off-speed, that change-up.
Exactly. Now Kuehn.
You might be talking about how it might not have the most spin, it might not be as tight today, but if you can force that weak contact, that's all you can really ask for. That's how you get out of innings. 1 out and 1 on, no score still. The next batter, Carter Newman, the third baseman from Virginia Tech, looks at the first pitch for a strike. Good left-to-right action to find the outside portion of the strike zone.
Good job on Kuehn. By Kuehn, it looks like he's finding that feel for that breaking ball, getting ahead 0-1, first pitch of the at-bat.
Second one is slammed deep into right and foul for strike 2. It was a well-hit ball if it was in play. Good chase from the right fielder, Coy Swanson. Just no way he was going to bring that back in play. 2 strikes, no balls, 1 out, no score. Runner at second. Diaz got there via a steal. Check swing, and the ball's outside.
He's not getting that extra inch so far on the outside corner, but we talked about last night how if a pitcher can really consistently hit his spot there, he's going to start to get that call.
1-2. Just misses outside to bring it to 2 balls and 2 strikes, the ballerina count, as I like to say.
Not the Cinderella count.
Not the Cinderella count.
That last night. Because that would make no sense, Jish.
I don't think it would, unless I don't see a scenario where that would make sense. 2-2. That one misses low. Ball 3. Kuehn still trying to work that bottom right corner with the off speed, not biting.
That's three competitive pitches on the outside corner by Kuehn. Doesn't get the call on any of them.
Full count, 1 out, no score, bottom of the second, with a runner in scoring position. That swung right through and he missed it. Strike 3. Alex Kuehn dusted him.
It's a great job to get the punch out there. 1 out away from getting out of the inning.
That was a tempting pitch, too. High hanging changeup. That's coke butter cheese if he gets a barrel on it, but couldn't quite square it up. So now it's Josh Skoronski with 2 outs and a runner at second, looking to draw first blood with the speedy Diaz, about 180 feet away from him in front.
Luis goes out to have a quick conversation with Kuehn, talk about how they're going to pitch. Josh Skoronski.
Josh Skoronski, the sophomore.
Long name.
It is a long name, but it's reminiscent of the Northwestern offensive lineman just drafted to the NFL a few years ago, Peter Skoronski. Wonder if there's any relation there.
Big 6'5".
He loops that one to left field, and it lands for a base hit. Rounding second, coming home from third is Diaz. As Skoronski rounds for second, he'll get there, and the first run of the day belongs to the big train off of the bat from the lefty.
It's a great piece of hitting by Skoronski. When you're 6'5", 220, Jish, to go the other way, it's not as easy as it looks. A lot of times you're trying to pull the ball, especially when you're a lefty, pull the ball over that right field wall, but great piece of hitting. Gets big train on the border.
Sun is tucked away behind the trees now as we get into the later parts of the bottom of the second inning. The big train just took a 1-0 lead with a runner at second, and the bottom of the order due up is the lefty switch hitter Luca Perriello from Virginia Tech. Takes the first pitch high, and that's ball 1.
Perriello, the prototypical defensive catcher, can hit from both sides of the plate.
5'11", 180. He's got those major league measurables, too. 2 outs and a runner on. 1-0 big train lead. Here's the pitch. He takes it low. That's out of the mitt of lice. Runner from second reaches third. That's Skoronski. So the big train have a runner 90 feet from home with 2 outs, 2 balls at the plate. Perriello can extend the big train lead to 2 with a well-timed swing.
And Jish, we saw last night Feldman have a tremendous game behind the dish defensively, so not off to a great start for Lice.
2-0 with 2 outs. Here's the pitch. He swings right through it and misses. Strike 1.
Kuehn doing a much better job as he settled down, getting a lot more whiffs. Big Train was burying a lot of balls early on, getting a lot of barrels.
Perriello choked up on that bat too, looking for contact. 2-1 the count. He takes one low and away for ball 3. A popular count to swing on if you're Perriello, the bottom of the order hitter in the lefty batter's box.
Kuehn does not want to walk Perriello here because then he's going to have to face Jordan Crossland.
That pitch misses to the inside. A little bit of heat, but not a lot of location, so there's runners in the corners with 2 outs. And the big train still lead a 1-0. With Jordan Cross on the top of the order, coming back up to bat. Sent the second pitch he saw into the outfield for a base hit in his last at-bat. Beautifully hit ball that landed right in front of Ahia Kojay in left field.
Kuehn trying to work out of another count here, runners on first and third.
Curveball misses low and away, ball 1. Crossland has a chance to extend the big train lead to 2-0. That's in there for strike 1. Touching that lower outside corner, Jack. That's where he's found his success, but that's also where he hasn't gotten the calls.
Just we've talked about that. He's been hitting that spot really consistently. Hasn't gotten the calls, but now it's starting to come his way.
1-1. Takes it low and away for ball 2. For ball 2, excuse me.
Kuehn being really careful with the leadoff hitter for Big Train here. Crosland very dangerous at the dish.
Big Train with a 1-0 lead. 2 outs, 2 balls, 1 strike, and 2 on. He pops it to the heavens behind the net. That could go to us. It'll go above us and behind the stands for a foul ball, strike 2.
Jish, I wanted to see you make a play there.
I was scared. I was scared out of my mind, Jack. I'm not going to lie to you. I could not make a play if I was called upon.
Just got to protect the computers, right?
That's really all it is.
That's what they
teach I was taking the coward's way out. I was covering my eyes, my face, the merchandise. 2-2, 2 on, 2 outs. That is slammed deep into left. Okoje looks at it and it travels over the fence for a home run. Jordan Crossland, the shortstop, extends the Big Train lead to 4 with a 3-run blast. 4-0 in the bottom of this second inning. Jordan Crossland with a well-hit ball over the left field fence.
Jish, in left field, there's a big light tower that has the number 11 on it because that's where a former Big Train player hit in a previous season, and that is way out. How far do you think that 11 is?
That might be it's definitely 400 feet.
I think 400 feet at least. Because that ball that Jordan Crossland just hit, it was to the left of the light tower, but that looked even higher.
It might have
That was really impressive. You knew that was gone. Okoje in left field
No
took
doubt.
one step back and just stopped. No doubter for Jordan Crossland.
4-0 the Big Train lead in the bottom of the second. First pitch is high for ball 1. An unlucky break for Alex Kuehn, the pitcher for the Cropdusters on the mound. Throws a ball on his next pitch. Perhaps a little scared. 1-0, 2 outs, none on. He swings through it for strike 1.
And Kuehn, that's just the way baseball goes. There's 1 out away from getting out of it with just 1 run. Now it's 4-0 Big Train, so Kuehn has to keep his composure, settle down, and get out of the inning.
1-1, 2 outs. He watches that one, find the belly of the strike zone, strike 2. Kuehn is 1 strike away from getting out of this inning, but he's already given up 4 runs. It's 4-0 in the bottom of the second. Big Train lead. Cropdusters still scoreless. Here's the pitch. He makes contact with that one. It's popped deep into center. Huvell calling off the other outfielders and makes the grab for out 3. That's how the inning comes to an end. We saw the first home run that we have seen, at least on the broadcast. Second home run the Cropdusters have given up this season comes in the bottom of this second inning. Big Train lead 4-0 after 2. Cropdusters bats will take over at the top of the third. Stay with us. Four-0, the Big Train lead over the Cropdusters after 2 innings. Jish Sokolsky alongside Jack Feldman ready to give you this third inning where the Cropdusters have some ground to make up now. And Sammy Lice will get his first action of the game. The catcher from Alabama stepping up to bat for the first time today. Looking to see if, well, not for the first time today. The previous inning ended with a caught stealing. Short.
We saw some good swings early on from the Cropdusters, still looking for the first run of the game.
He swings right through that one for strike 1. A ball placed high, but Lice wanted every inch of it, couldn't get any of it.
And that's the thing for Kuehn. You're going to give up runs when you play Big Train.
Lice cracks one into the left field foul air territory for strike 2.
It's just about, managing the innings, going deep enough into the game. And if you're going to beat Big Train, the offense has to hit. That's really what it comes down to.
Lice steps back into the righty's batter's box. 2 pitches faced, 2 swings. 1 with contact, 1 without. Here's the pitch from Prescott. He swings through it for strike 3. A 3-pitch strikeout to start the third inning.
Looks like the sun is starting to set here at Shirley Povich Field. You've got an under 80 degrees, Jish. A little less hot, maybe a little less of a tan for you.
Oh, well, I'm glad. I don't need any more tan, I'll tell you that, Jack.
What's your ideal temperature?
My ideal temperature, I like a good 75 degrees.
Okay. I'd go a little lower. I would go
Maybe like 60?
65
Yeah,
with a breeze. I need the breeze. The breeze is really the important part.
It's Ben Davis, the lefty, up to bat for the Cropdusters now. Takes the first pitch high for ball 1. Takes it low for ball 2. Ben Davis got the start in game 1 versus the Senators. Was held hitless in that contest. Didn't play last night against the Thunderbolts, but his big bat will come in use with a 4-run deficit against the Big Train in the top of this third. He cracks one backwards for strike one.
Cropdusters coaching staff has really raved about Ben Davis's ability at the plate. Still looking to get it going. Still early in the season.
For good reason. He played for Coach Leader in high school. Was the first baseman at Reservoir for 4 years. 2-1, one out, none on. He checks his swing, but it's in there anyway. A called strike two in the bottom outside corner.
That's just a really nice breaking ball by Prescott, just tying Ben Davis up.
2-2, none on, one out. Cropdusters trail 4-0 in the top of the third. Here's the pitch. He swings at that one, grounded to the shortstop, who fields it off the hop, makes the throw with his left hand across the diamond, and not on time, but the first baseman had his right foot off the base on the extension, so Davis reaches first safely on a throwing error.
That was a good job by Crosland to field the ball, make an athletic throw. That was on the money, and Davis would have been out. It's just Wesley had his back foot off the base. So some little luck for the Cropdusters.
A little bit of luck, but that's all they need. Carter Hines steps up to bat with a runner at first base. The big 6'4" Ben Davis, the first baseman, with one out and a 4-run deficit. Hines chops it up the middle. This could be two. Crossland toss to second, and the toss back to first is on time. That's a double play again to take the big train out of the top of this third without any Cropdusters runs. No hits allowed, no runs across. And it's still 4-0 Big Train as we head to the bottom of this third inning. That was fast, Jack.
Please direct your attention to the first base grandstand.
Four 0 the Big Train lead over the Cropdusters as we head to the bottom of this third inning. Alex Kuehn, the righty, stays out there after allowing 4 runs in the previous frame alone, including a 3-run jack. It's really important for him to keep his confidence after a homer given up like that.
Yeah, it's always big after giving up 3 runs in an inning, giving up a big homer like that. Next inning, you want to come out there and just 1, 2, 3. You want to be able to get that shutdown inning. Big for the momentum.
First batter for the Big Train is their 3-hole hitter, who watches a ball sink too low and inside for ball 1. It's the lefty for the Big Train. That's Davin Whitaker. Got a hit in his first pitch the last at-bat. He pops that one up to the left side. Lice giving chase, but it's over the fence for strike 1.
It's going to be a tall task for Kuehn. He's going to have to face Big Train's 3, 4, and 5 hitters.
Right now, he's at an even count. 1-1 with none on. No outs, and the Big Train holding on to a 4-0 lead. Whitaker already with a hit today. Here's the pitch from Kuehn. He takes it. The curveball can't drop into the top of the zone. Sails too high for ball 2.
The governor is,
Whitaker is a communications major at East Carolina. Didn't get a lot of playing time his freshman season. Fouls one off the left side. Strike 2. A little jammed on the bat there. He's had to adjust the gloves after that. Steps back into that lefty batter's box.
Just maybe if baseball doesn't work out for Whitaker, he could join us in the booth.
Yeah, you know what? Do we have an extra mic? Maybe he can join us right now. 2-2. Keeps it on the ground. Kuehn makes the play, and the short toss underhand to first base sends him back to the dugout with 1 out.
That's a really big out. Getting the leadoff guy out has not been able to do that the past 2 innings. Gets it there. Really athletic play for Kuehn, hopping off that mound.
Very quick hands from the pitcher. We've now seen him make 2 of those plays. The double play to end the first inning, and now that 1-3 ground out gives the Cropdusters some standing in at this bottom of the third inning where they're down 4-0. First pitch is taken right up the middle and right into the glove of Josh Reinhold at short for out number 2. It only took one more pitch, but Alex Kuehn is one out richer in this third inning.
He's starting to find the feel for the breaking ball. Not a bad swing, but Reinhold was right there for the out.
Quick instincts from the shortstop to track over towards the second base to make the play. 2 outs and none on as 27 Chris Diaz, the lefty's up to bat. He got bat on ball last time for a hit, and he swings through the first pitch for strike 1. Great deception. He was a little early on the swing, and the off-speed got him swinging. He wanted that early hit again. 0-1 the count. 2 outs and none on. 4-0 the Big Train lead over the Cropdusters. Here's the pitch. That's too low, and it hits him in the ankle. Bounced off his foot, it appears, as Diaz takes his base.
Looked like Kuehn was on his way to a 1-2-3 inning, spiking a breaking ball there. You think that hit him, Jish? You think that hit off his foot?
It's hard to tell from our angle. He was in the lefty batter's box with his back turned to us. Ball looks like it could have either landed right in front of him or maybe on that big toe, so hard to tell. Now we've got a righty, so it would be easier to tell. That's Landon Franklin up to bat. He reached base his previous at-bat. First pitch finds the north part of the zone, strike 1.
Kuehn starting to get that call in that outside corner. Good breaking ball there to get ahead.
He sends a pitch backwards for strike 2.
Just going back to that first out of the inning, the PFP for Kuehn, it's just so easy for the infield when you have a pitcher that can field his position like that, taking the pressure off of all the rest of the infield.
0-2, 1 on, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That just barely breaks outside, ball 1.
Kuehn doing a good job of working from the stretch, working quick, slide stepping, not giving Big Train any room for advancing an extra base.
The 1-2. He stayed alive swing. He sends it backwards for a foul ball.
Kuehn 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning.
See if he can throw that pitch right here with a runner at second, Diaz. Or runner at first, excuse me, Diaz. Here's the pitch. A little check swing makes contact, and it's sent foul to stay alive at 1-2.
Kuehn's gotten some ugly swings in this at-bat. Much better bounce-back inning so far.
It seems as though the home run he gave up in the previous inning did not quite affect him. It's 4-0 Big Train after a 4-run second inning. Now he's 1 pitch away. The throw back to first, not on time. Good head-first slide from Diaz to stay safe at first, and the Big Train offense continues for another day.
Diaz was leaning a little bit over there. Good quick move by Kuehn.
The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. Alex Kuehn dusted him to end the inning. So no hits. The only runner reached on a hit by pitch, but no runs come across, and that's a beautiful bounce back from Alex Kuehn after giving up 4. The Cropdusters still trail 4-0. A lot of game left to play as we head to the top of the 4th inning. Stay with us. Cropdusters look to decrease the gap. Top of the order due up for the Cropdusters, staring down a 4-0 deficit at the top of the 4th. Jish Sokolsky and Jack Feldman ready to bring you the rest of this game. It's not over yet with the top of the order due up, and Josh Reinhold is the person you want to lead a comeback for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely been the Cropdusters' best hitter so far to start the season. Great table setter.
He's got a hit in all 3 games, including a hit in his last at-bat. Here's the pitch. Looks at that one, but right down the heart of the strike zone for strike 1. Reinhold just waiting for the right pitch. little bit inside, so perhaps he was worried about getting too jammed. Looks at the second one, too low, ball one.
Prescott has done a real nice job tonight of filling it up, throwing strikes, getting ahead in counts. He really has not gone into too many 3-ball counts.
Looked like a slurve from Prescott. The 1-1. Fouls it off right, strike 2.
Yeah, back-to-back breaking balls there from Prescott. Just missed on the first one, second one gets a foul ball, some weak contact.
Reinhold with the 1-2. Takes it, but it's in there, a looking strikeout. Reinhold's body language think he knew that was the right call. Goes back to the dugout.
That's what's going to happen just when you have the ability to hit the fastball. You're going to get a steady diet of breaking balls, and now we're going to have to see Reinhold adjust.
Quite a bit of breaking balls on that one. Ehia Koje flied out his previous at-bat, steps into the righty box with none on and one out. Takes it low and inside for ball one. A nice curveball from Prescott. Didn't fool the outfielder from Hartford Community College. 1-0 the count, one out. He swings on that one fast, but fouls it off. Strike one.
I'll tell you, Jish, after 4 straight breaking balls from Prescott, he finally goes back to the fastball, and that looked about 100 miles an hour.
The swing looked even faster, maybe 200 miles per hour from Ehia Koje. 1-1, none on, one out. Cropdusters trail by 4. Takes it low for ball 2. Good eye from Koje.
And all of these breaking balls that Prescott has thrown have been either strikes or right around the zone, all uber competitive pitches.
2-1. Takes it inside. Finds the zone for strike 2. Prompting some applause from Big Train faithful behind home plate. 2-2 the count, one out. Prescott from the windup. Gives one that Koje swings on and fouls it off to the right side to stay alive at 2-2. And Koji's got speed too if he gets on the base paths. He scored from first yesterday as a pinch runner. So the coaching staff trusts him to run. Big Train don't want to put him on. The 2-2. He drives it over the head of the shortstop and down for a base hit in left field. Koje reaches first with a lot of wheels in his arsenal.
He's a guy that the Cropdusters definitely should be looking to steal some bases for them this season. And that's the thing. Prescott's game plan going into the game, first time through the lineup, threw a lot of fastballs, going through the lineup for a second time now, really mixing in that breaking ball. And Cropdusters hitters are going to have to make an adjustment.
Boma up to bat now. Struck out last time. The throw back to first after the ball is not on time to keep it at a 1-0 count. Boma was one of 2 Cropdusters to strike out, the other being Sammy Lice, the catcher.
Good job there by Wesley, just keeping it in the infield. Keep Koje from advancing.
1-0. Too low in the dirt, but the catcher, despite losing control a little bit, holds on to the ball and keeps the runner at first. 2-0 the count, one out, one on for the Cropdusters, who have a 4-0 deficit at the top of this 4th inning. A throwback not on time. Koje slides in head first and beats the throw soundly to stay safe at first.
It's going to be really important for these Cropduster hitters to just be tough with 2 C pitches, because once they see the curveball, it's going to be a lot easier to hit.
Boma sends one skyward to the left side in foul territory. Catcher giving chase, and he squeezes it just beyond the third base line for out 2.
It's a tough play for Perriello. As soon as you see that ball go up as a catcher, you want to put your back to the field, because the ball is going to usually break back towards the field, so it's a lot easier that way versus having to chase it out to get it. It's easier to take a couple steps in.
It's very bang-bang. The third baseman, Newman, tried giving chase a little bit too. You got to, as a catcher, also communicate with the infield. I've got it, I've got it, I've got it.
Yeah, but Newman, if Newman can get that ball, that's his ball. You'll go take a third baseman anytime over a catcher in that situation.
Jimmy Kirk up to bat. He fouls off his first pitch a little late on the swing. Sends it right for a foul ball and strike 1.
Whenever there's a pop-up in the infield, shortstop has control. If he calls him off, he has priority. Then it's the second baseman, then it's the corner infielders.
0-1 for Kirk, who always swings hard. Instead takes it low and away. Curveball doesn't fool Jimmy Kirk. Ball 1.
Jimmy Kirk had a really nice hit earlier in the game off of a breaking ball. So, Prescott feeling that pitch a little bit. We'll see if he throws it here to Kirk.
1-1, one on, 2 outs. Kirk takes it high, well above his head on the fastball for ball 2.
Good job to get into a hitter's count by Jimmy Kirk.
And if there's any hitters on this Cropdusters team, it's Jimmy Kirk, the designated hitter today. Standing in that righty's batter's box. bat above head in that stance. Sent 2 out of this ballpark last season. Went for a third, but missed it. Strike 2.
Yeah, good job by Prescott to just elevate the fastball. Put it in a spot where Kirk could not do much damage with it.
If Kirk does get barrel on that, goodbye baseball. 2-2, 2 outs, 1 on. Cropdusters trail 4-0 in the top of the 4th. Runner goes, kept on the ground, chopped foul. So Jimmy Kirk stays alive at 2-2.
Just like Prescott going really fastball, curveball heavy, and Kirk has seen both of those pitches numerous times. So he's seen it. He's just got to put barrel on it now.
Seen it pretty well too. Aside from that hack on a high fastball, he's diagnosed these pitches pretty well. 2-2. 2 outs, 1 on. Runner goes. That is cracked deep into the gap in right center. It's traveling back, and it is down for a base hit, and that'll be extra bases. Okoje coming home from first. He will score for the Cropdusters' first run, and Kirk stands up for a double. Cropdusters cut the lead down to 3. It's 4-1 Big Train in the top of this 4th inning. A huge swing for Jimmy Kirk.
Boy, that's just a really impressive piece of hitting. Taking that fastball the other way off of the right center fence. And just that's got to be up there for one of the prettiest swings in baseball when a player does take a ball that far the other way in the gap. What a swing by Jimmy Kirk.
So now it's Puvel up, and the Cropdusters finally drew some blood. First pitch is the off speed in that lower outside corner for strike 1. 2 outs and a runner at second. Puvel looks to dig into this Big Train lead even more. Here's the pitch. He swings right through it for strike 2. Puvel rolls his eyes a little bit as he settles back into that righty batter's box. He wants that one back.
This is one of those situations where you've got the run across, but you can't settle if you're the Cropdusters. You really have to try to score Kirk. Cut the lead in half.
The 0-2. Too low, ball 1. Good trap from the catcher, Perriello, to keep Kirk glued at second. Last night, Kirk got a base hit too, but he was subbed off with a pinch runner. That was a lot later in the game, but they are trusting Kirk's ability on the base paths tonight, at least for now. 1-2. Here's the pitch. He swings through it and misses. Strike 3. That'll end the inning. Cropdusters get one across off of a huge double from Jimmy Kirk, but a strikeout ends the inning, and the score is 4-1 Big Train. The Bats will look to pour on the lead when we return at the bottom of this 4th. Stay with us on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in.
The third base.
Welcome back to Shirley Povich Field. Cropdusters trail the big train 4-1 in the bottom of the fourth, and we've got a new pitcher on the mound for the Cropdusters, the righty Garrett Corbett from Jacksonville. So Alex Kuehn, the Millersville pitcher's day is done after 3 innings pitch, where he allowed 4 runs on 5 hits, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. All things considered, could be a lot worse. Corbett's first pitch has a lot of heat, and it's in there for strike 1.
Yeah, Corbett looks to be sitting low 90s, touching 90, 91 early on, according to my IDAR.
I was about to say, we don't have the TrackMan, so we're going to have to trust Jack's IDAR. That's popped into shallow left. Ehia Koje steps back twice and makes the grab for out 1. 2 pitches is all it takes to get one out. That's off of Carter Newman, the third baseman.
Especially Jish, when you get a guy like Alex Kuehn who is mixing it up well, not blowing anyone away, and then Garrett Corbett comes by, comes in, throwing significantly harder. That's an adjustment that the big train hitters have to make.
Garrett Corbett is now the second Jacksonville pitcher in this game. The starter for the big train, Peyton Prescott, also hails from JU. Garrett Corbett from Jacksonville, Florida as well, so made the long trip up to Maryland. First pitch against the new batter is in there. Fastball inside for strike 1 against the lefty, Josh Sokolsky.
Corbett getting a soft landing for his first inning of work. 7, 8, 9 hitters in the big train lineup.
0-1, misses low, ball 2. A lot of heat on it. Good block from the Alabama catcher, Sammy Lice. Last time Skoronski was up to bat, an RBI double to the opposite field. See if he has another one in him with 1 out and none on. That one is in the inner portion of the strike zone. A lot of heat from these early pitches from Corbett. We'll see if he can keep it up.
It's like Skoronski's got a little bit of a Soto shuffle going on.
Explain what that is for those who don't know.
So when you take a pitch, he's just taking a step towards the pitcher. I think Soto's mentality is every at-bat is a battle, every at-bat is a fight. He wants to be competitive. So Skoronski, ultra competitive.
2-2. Fouls one off to stay alive with 1 out and none on. Lefty versus righty. Corbett is showing some impressive stuff early on.
Yeah, really impressed by his pitch mix early on. An electric fastball.
2-2. Misses high. Full count, 1 out, none on.
Good job battling back in the at-bat by Skoronski. Getting it to full count.
D1 versus D1. Virginia Tech batter. Cracks that one up the middle with some velocity in the air. A diving play in the outfield from Puvel sends him packing. Griffin Puvel took 3 steps forward and then the leap for the SportsCenter top 10-esque grab. Diving play for the second out.
That's one of those plays where the catch was great. Nice catch. But that all started with Puvel's read in center. That was a ball that looked like it had a chance of getting down. Puvel made a great read and an even better catch.
So now we're at the bottom of the order. The lefty Luca Perriello up to bat, sends it backwards for strike 1 on the first pitch. A little too far under that pitch, but what a play from Puvel in the outfield. Skoronski hit one to opposite field his last at-bat. Too much for a Koje. That one misses low off the chest plate of Lice for ball 1.
And that's what it's going to take for the Cropdusters. You're going to need to play a complete game. Pitchers are going to have to pitch well. Offense is going to have to hit, and the defense is going to have to make those type of 50-50 plays.
1-1, 2 outs, none on. Here's the pitch. He swings and gets nothing. Strike 2.
Been really impressed by Perriello's defense behind the dish early on. He's had a couple of nice blocks.
Perriello walked his last time out, got on base and scored on the 3-run jack from the top of the order hitter, Jordan Crossland, who's on deck right now.
Perriello listed at 5'11", 180. Looks like he's a little bit smaller than that, and to play at a big school like Virginia Tech,
The 2-2.
you got to be doing the little things right.
Too low. Off the plate for ball 3. A full count with the inning on the line. 2 outs and none on. Perriello steps out of the box and back in. Let's see what Corbett has for him. Something has to give right here lest we see a foul. Too low, ball 4. Perriello takes a base. And
Nice
here
job
comes Jordan
there.
Crossland.
Nice job there by Perriello, working the count full, drawing the walk, and turning it back over to the top of the lineup for 2 outs.
And the top of the lineup has been nothing short of spectacular tonight. Jordan Crossland 2 for 2 on the day with a single and a home run. He's got a runner at second and a 3-run lead. The big train lead 4-1 in the bottom of this 4th inning.
Absolute tank hit earlier in the game by Crossland.
Looks at the first pitch. Low fastball, ball one.
Corbett's done a nice job. He's just got to keep filling up the zone, throwing strikes.
1-0. And that is hit in the same exact spot. Deep and driven well to left. And the center fielder, Puvel, reaches up and makes the grab for out 3.
What a play, Jish. That might have been even better than the diving catch coming in on the ball. This one, he was going out right against the scoreboard. You know, he's playing at an unfamiliar stadium. He has to feel out the warning track, get that hand on that left center wall, time to jump and make the catch. Phenomenal defensive play here by Griffin Puvel.
That ball was clobbered again. It looks like we might have been looking at home run number 2, but Puvel, with the rangy defense, treads over to the left field gap, makes the grab above his head, and that'll end the inning. Big Train go down with only 1 walk to speak of and 1 left on. No run scratch across, so it's still 4-1. The Big Train lead with the Cropdusters bats ready to get going again. At the top of this 5th inning. Stay with us. One Big Train lead at the top of the 5th inning. Cropdusters bats ready to get going again against a new pitcher. The righty Aiden Kelly from Jacksonville University. I didn't know it was Jacksonville night. We've now seen 3 Jacksonville pitchers take the mound. 2 for the Big Train, 1 for the Cropdusters, Garrett Corbett, who you just heard get his first inning, bottom of the 4th. Jish Sokolsky with Jack Feldman on the call. So Kelly comes in relief of Peyton Prescott, who only allowed 1 run across and 4 innings pitched.
A lot of representation for Jacksonville here in this one.
Aiden Kelly, the rising junior from Lakeland, Florida. Through 11 strikeouts and 10 innings pitched, not a lot of work. 10 earned runs as well, so an ERA of 9 this past season.
Jish, you wrote in our notes here that you love spike ball. Would you like to elaborate on that?
Well, it said in his college profile that spike ball is his favorite game, so, I bet I could take him. You think you could take him?
I'm a pretty good spike ball.
Do you think if there was D1 spike ball, do you think you would go D1?
I think it'd be a conversation.
Would you go to Jacksonville University to play spike ball?
Why not? Great weather, great town.
A lot better than Rico in
People
Syracuse.
have said great town about Jacksonville, Florida.
You know what? A lot of highways, so not the most walkable city.
That's your take on Jacksonville? I don't know. Never been.
The Jags, who knows if they're going to be good this year. It's Coy Swanson in the batter's box, the lefty box to start this inning. He takes the first pitch, but it is a strike. A lot of heat from the JU righty. Kelly finds himself up early in this count.
Swanson hitting 500 on the season, trying to continue his hot streak.
Pops it up towards the left field foul territory, towards the Big Train bullpen. Lands over there for strike 2.
Swanson's really aggressive at the plate, really puts his whole body into that swing. Trying to do damage.
Swanson from the University of Maryland plays in the outfield, also plays first base, was ranked the 3rd best first baseman in the state of Pennsylvania by perfect game. He takes one low for ball 1, makes some ground up in this count. 1-2 for the leadoff lefty for the Cropdusters, Coy Swanson. Cropdusters still staring down a 3-run deficit, 4-1 in the top of this 5th. Pitch is high, ball 2. A lot of heat on it, though.
We've seen a lot of pitchers in this game come in with those big looping curveballs. Looks like Aiden Kelly is a guy that really has that tight slider, a little more velo on it, trying to bury it in the bottom of the zone.
2-2 the count. None on, no outs. Nice breaking ball, misses inside. The fans thought it was right there, and it was kind of on the line, Jack. It could have gone either way, but the umpire gives the call to the Cropduster batter.
Real good at bat by Coy Swanson. Aggressive early on. Went down 0-2. Fought his way back to 3-2.
Full count, he fouls it off to stay alive. With
Looks
no
like-
outs and none on.
Looks like that one got the hand of Perriello. And that's another thing just about baseball. Whenever a catcher gets nicked up like that, umpire's going to walk out, take his time, giving the pitcher a new baseball. Whenever the umpire gets hit by a foul ball, the catcher's going to go out there. Just a little respect thing between the catcher and the umpire.
Team trainer looking at Perriello's right hand where it nicked. Seems to be okay. He walks back out behind the dish. He'll continue to play.
And he'll be fine. Catchers get beat up all the time behind the plate. They're really the toughest players on the field.
3-2 the count. None on for the leadoff Coy Swanson in the lefty batter's box versus the righty pitcher. Here comes. He keeps it on the ground, chopped foul to stay alive.
Coy Swanson trying to do everything in his power to get on to start the inning. Cropdusters right in this ball game. Big Train's up 4-1, so getting a leadoff hitter on would be huge for Ullman.
He went 2 for 4 in his start over the Senators, including a ground rule double. Helped set up a Cropdusters score. He was the first run of the Crop season. He cracks one deep into right. It's traveling well back and going over the field fence. Coy Swanson with the solo shot to give the Cropdusters their second run of the day and the first home run of the Cropdusters season.
Tremendous job by Coy Swanson. Long, extended at-bat, seeing a lot of pitches, fouling off a lot of pitches. Gets what he could handle, and Jish, he did not miss it. Absolute bomb over the right field wall.
That's one way to break in a new pitcher. Coy Swanson from the full count delivers a no doubter. So we've seen plenty of fireworks today. The Big Train lead 4-2 in the top of this 5th inning. The Cropdusters are crawling their way back. A leadoff home run. That's got to do some damage to the pitcher's confidence.
Feels like whenever there's a baseball game at Shirley Povich, there's going to be a couple balls over the wall. Especially between these two teams.
Absolutely. We've seen home run after home run and plenty of clashes of the Titans last year. The top 2 teams in the North Division. Cropdusters just a game behind the Big Train. Just 1 game short of that first round bye. Sammy Lice follows up Coy Swanson after that bomb. Takes the first 2 pitches after swinging at all 3 in his previous at-bat for a strikeout. Now he's tied at 1-1.
Couldn't ask for a better start to the season for Swanson.
1-1 for Lice. He takes one in the strike zone, strike 2.
Lice has had some quick at-bats today, looking to get on the board.
One of his at-bats cut short by a caught stealing that ended the second inning, the 1-2. He stares at it as it spikes into the dirt. Maybe that's where the spike ball comes in. Aiden Kelly can't find the zone to tie things up at 2-2.
I see what you did there, Jish.
Well, it's kind of a bad omen if you're a pitcher in your favorite sport, spike ball, right? 2 balls, 2 strikes, no outs, and none on for Sammy Lice. Still looking for his first hit of the 2024 summer. 0 for 3 this year. Takes one in that top left corner for strike 3. He's out of there. 2 strikeouts already, 1 swinging, 1 looking for the Alabama catcher.
And Lice is a guy that did not get
First baseman,
many
Ben
innings for
Davis.
Alabama this season, so he's still getting his timing down, and he's a guy that's going to look to get better as the season continues. Still extremely early on.
First SEC player in Cropdusters history. Now it's Ben Davis, the first baseman, and lefty up to bat. Last time Aiden Kelly faced a lefty, that was Coy Swanson. You just heard he went yard.
So we go from SEC to D3. Ben
Daniel.
Davis,
Daniel.
McDaniel College.
It's a good D3 school, don't get me
It's a
wrong.
good
I
D3.
got a friend who plays football down at McDaniel.
Do you?
I do.
Position.
Probably offensive line, I think. The big boy. Love that guy, though. 1-0 the count. Takes it in the strike zone, strike 1. Good heat from Aiden Kelly, working the lower outside corner, and he seems unfazed by that home run that he just gave up earlier this inning.
Yeah, Aiden Kelly's throwing hard.
The 1-1. He takes it low and inside for ball 2. Ben Davis standing pretty close to that plate, but getting the benefit of the doubt regardless. 2 balls to 1 strike, 1 out. Cropdusters trail by 2 in the top of this 5th. Davis trying to get on base. Again, he went fishing but checked his swing. And he did go around according to the third base umpire after appeal was made by the catcher, so it's 2-2.
Just looking at Kelly's pitch mix, it looks like he's got that electric fastball and two different types of breaking balls. He's got the big looping curveball and then a tighter slider that we have not seen for quite a while.
Davis swings and misses at that one for strike 3. He's out of there, so Kelly follows up the home run with 2 straight strikeouts.
Looks like we saw it there, Jish. Obviously, Kelly's game plan there, he was trying to bury that breaking ball down and in on Davis, and he did just that.
Carter Hines up to bat for the Cropdusters with 2 outs and none on. Grounded into a double play his previous at-bat to end an inning, but went 2 for 3 with 2 walks and 4 runs last night in a 16-6 win over the Thunderbolts. Takes the first pitch low and away, ball 1. Righty dealing to righty. Carter Hines, the shortstop from Shippensburg, say that 10 times fast, has had quite the great season thus far in just 2 games played, but he's played in all 3. Fastball misses high, ball 2.
Yeah, Hines grinded into the double play earlier on, but we've been really impressed by his contact ability, his hit tool early on in the season. He's not a guy that's going to hit for that much power, but he's going to put the ball in play and hit for a high average.
2-0, now 3-0 after the breaking ball misses low. Fans behind thought that was in there, but stands at 3 balls to no strikes. And I said this last night, but I still think this is really impressive. Carter Hines was the 13th hardest batter to strike out in Division II, according to the NCAA website. The 3-0 is in there for strike 1. No need to swing at that one for Hines, although that was a pitch right down the middle he could have taken.
Yeah, Hines really looking to get on here with 2 outs. He's a guy that can run a little bit, kind of works as that second leadoff hitter. Assistant coach Mike Evans was telling us early on.
In the 9-hole today, but led off in game 1. Is in the bottom of the strike zone. Hines doesn't like it, but it's a full count with 2 outs.
It's a good job there by Perriello to just pull that pitch back. Especially in the past couple of years, there's been kind of a new philosophy on framing with catchers. Perriello not going with the 1 knee down, or he is going with the 1 knee down approach, which helps him on lower pitches.
Full count misses Hines inside. Now Hines won't be denied. He takes a base off of a full count. And now the tying run, Josh Reinhold steps up to bat into the righty batter's box. 1 for 2 today. Got a hit in his first at-bat. Second one, he was not as lucky. The ground out. Now versus the new pitcher, Kelly, though, and a runner on. See if he can do some damage to this baseball. Here's the pitch. Takes it inside, ball 1.
Big hole to the left of Jordan Crosland at short there. He's really shading up the middle. That's where we saw Reinhold's first hit of the day.
They're probably trying to catch Hines on the steal. He had one last night. Second pitch misses low, ball 2.
Seems like Reinhold is always just getting into an advantageous count.
It gets it. It works for him because he does hit the ball quite well. 2-0 with 2 balls placed low. Runner goes. Strike is in there. The slide is not on time. The throw beat him out. And the play from the shortstop crossing sends Hines back to the dugout and sends Reinhold back to the dugout as well. So the Cropdusters score 1 on the big home run bomb from the outfielder Coy Swanson. It's 4-2 after the top of the 5th. Stay with us for the bottom of the 5th, where Corbett will come back out for the Cropdusters and look to shove. Stay with us. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Big Train up to bat. They lead by 2, 4-2 the score. Jish, Sokolsky, Jack Feldman bunts on the leadoff hitter. Lice fields it, makes the throw to first on time for out 1. That was quick.
Tremendous job there by Lice. Sees the bunt, just pounces out of his crouch. And it looked like Bowman was playing a little back at third. So if that field was able to get that down the third baseline, that could have been a hit. But wasn't able to get there, and a great play by Sammy Lice.
That was Jaden Bastian. He's now 2 for 3 on the day. 2 hits to start off. So the Big Train find themselves down 1 out after 1 pitch. A good position for Corbett, the righty, to be in. Second pitch is popped up into shallow right. Okoje, Boma, and the shortstop Reinhold giving chase. None of them can make the grab. It falls for a base hit.
It's a really tough play for Reinhold to make. That's kind of got to be Okoje's ball, and he was just playing a little bit too far into left center there to get there. It's the well-placed ball for the Big Train.
Right in no man's land, too. Like, about 10 yards back of that third baseman. Somebody's got to say, I got it. It doesn't seem like the communication was quite there. So now there's a runner on after a weakly hit. Single gets Davin Whitaker on first. A swing and a miss for strike 1 on Matthew Wesley, the first baseman. Up to bat next with a runner on. Now 1 strike down with no balls. And a 4-2 lead in the bottom of this 5th.
Yeah, Wesley was geared up for the fastball. Gets an off-speed pitch low and in the dirt and goes fishing there.
Good job blocking from Sammy Lice, too. That could have gotten away from him. Frame job from Lice, not as good on that one. Ball inside.
Yeah, and that's another thing, Jish, we talked about. All these guys have just started playing together. They're still meeting their new teammates, so the communication on pop-ups in between the infield and outfield might be lacking a bit at the beginning.
The 1-1, the slider misses low and away, ball 2. Good eye from Matthew Wesley, first baseman from Virginia Tech. He was the second best third baseman prospect in Virginia in the class of 23, hailing from Manassas. It's kept on the ground to second. Hines makes the toss to short, and back to first. The double play is complete to end the inning. A very quick 1-2-3, or not a 1-2-3, but ended up being as such with the double play to end it. Garrett Corbett still with a pitch count low, and no runs scored for the Big Train. Cropdusters bats will get going at the top of this 6th inning. Down 4-2. Stay with us. Top of the 6th, the Cropdusters trail 4-2 with a new pitcher on, but a familiar pitcher for Big Train fans. Kevin Scully takes the mound for Bethesda. The righty from Montvale, New Jersey, and James Madison.
Is that near you?
Montvale, no, not quite. That's more south, I'm more north, but
Okay.
Kevin Scully played in one game against the Cropdusters last season, and a lot of these games, they go back and forth, Jack, between the Cropdusters and the Big Train. There's usually some late surge that helps one team get back, and Kevin Scully was the reason the Cropdusters came back to beat the Big Train 8-3 in the June 5th game last year. only pitched 1 inning late in the game, but gave 3 earned runs.
This would be a spot for them to do it, Jish. They got the top of the lineup coming up, top of the 6th inning, 4-2 ball game. They're right in this game.
Kevin Scully for the Big Train picked up the win in game 1 of the championship series as well against the Aces, a game that was 16-10. He gave up 5 runs in that game and still picked up the win because the bats helped him out a ton. Josh Reinhold, the righty, is the top of the order hitter, and he's back up to bat for the Cropdusters. 1 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. Looks at the first one, it's in there for strike 1. Scully starts with the off-speed and catches the inside part of the zone. 0-1 with no outs and none on. And he swings through it for strike 2. Reinhold.
Scully, standing at 6'4", really pulls down on that fastball. Gets a lot of tilt.
Reinhold down 0-2. Typically gets into good batter's positions, but not here. Takes one low and away for ball 1. A pitch that kind of spiked off the dirt a little bit. There's only 1 inning for the last reliever, Aiden Kelly.
A lot of moving parts for Kevin Scully. Kind of lifts his whole body up in his windup, so it's impressive that he can throw strikes consistently.
Foul ball to stay alive at 1-2 for Josh Reinhold down the left field line. Cropdusters still trail by 2. It's 4-2 in the top of this 6th inning. Not insurmountable by any stretch of the imagination, and really night and day for both of these teams, this low scoring of a game. Cropdusters won 16-6 last night. The Big Train won 12-3 2 days ago. That's kept on the ground, chopped to short. Slow roller to third, and he can't make the play. Reinhold is safe at first off an infield hit.
That's one of those plays where if you're Big Train, Carter Newman, third baseman, that's his ball. You know, that's too shallow of a ball to cross lane. Even if he does field it, he has no shot of getting Reinhold at first. So whenever there's a ball in between the shortstop and the third baseman, it is on the third baseman to cut the shortstop off, field the ball, because he always will have the better angle of the throw.
Ball kind of died on the hops, too. It didn't have the same, hops you would expect. A little bit of backspin. Died before an infielder could really get it. Ehia Koje up to bat. Takes the first pitch low and away. Ball 1.
It's going to be interesting to see if Reinhold steals, Has a couple stolen bases this season, but Perriello has really shut down the running game for the Cropdusters so far in this one.
2 runners caught stealing already for Perriello. 1-0 count for Okoje. He sends it up the middle, bounce off the shortstop's shoulder, but the second baseman tags up at second. The throw is over the head of the first baseman. Okoje not going to take 2 because Reinhold is not safe at second. Didn't see the signal.
Smoked by Okoje. And that's a good job by Crosland just to knock it down. Looked like he got late a little bit, but was able to recover. And a lot of times when that happens, players freak out. He was calm, covered, got the out at second, got the lead runner.
Landon Franklin, cool as a cucumber, was in the right place at the right time for the unassisted out at second. Koje reaches first safely, though, on the fielder's choice. So there's 1 out with 1 on. 2-run deficit, and Boma up to bat. He swings through the first pitch, strike 1. Throw back to first, not on time.
Opportunity for the Cropdusters. They got the heart of the order coming up. Runner on first. So we'll try to move him into scoring position here at the top of the 6th.
Boma's 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. Really went for it all with that swing. Scully caught him by surprise. Checks his swing on the ball. So he ties things up at 1-1 with a runner at first and a 2-run deficit. Boma is the tying run.
Would be pretty big for the Cropdusters if they can get a runner in scoring position for Jimmy Kirk, who is lurking on deck.
Don't be surprised if Okoje wants to put himself in scoring position already. That's kept on the ground and through to the outfield for a base hit. Okoje halts his run at second. Boma takes first. And that's Boma's first hit of the day, and now the tying run is at first base with a huge bat. Jimmy Kirk up to bat. Hit a double his last time out to drive in the first run. Just a few more inches, and he's sending that one out of the ballpark.
Perriello is going to go talk to Scully, and here we go. Runners on first and second, 1 out for the big DH, Jimmy Kirk. You mentioned his blazing double off the right center wall earlier in the game. And big spot for the big hitter.
Kirk, a tendency to go opposite field on his home runs. Very strange for the righty. Most of his homers have come over the right field fence. At least in summer ball, that is. 1 out, 2 on, double play on the table. But Jimmy Kirk would take the lead if he can knock one out of the park, which we've seen all too often. Here's the pitch. He swings through it for strike one, a power swing that got no into the ball.
Yeah, big swing for Kirk, gets the off speed. Low and outside, goes chasing a little bit.
Scully knows that Kirk is a eager swinger. 0-1, 1 out, 2 on. Here's the pitch. Kirk watches it spike off the dirt for ball 1.
Great job by Perriello to block that up, and really important for Koji to get a good secondary on second. He runs well, but any ball in the outfield, he needs to be looking to score.
Bomo with 6 steals, Okoje 10 steals. Both on the base paths, both could have taken extra bases had Perriello not blocked it. He watches the 1-1, find the strike zone to bring it to 1-2. 1 out, 2 on, and a 2-run deficit for the Cropdusters. Jimmy Kirk, the designated hitter, steps back into that righty batter's box.
And Jimmy's got to do a job now. Behind in the count, he has to find a way to get Okoje to third. Hit a ball the other way. Get Okoje to third for Griffin Puvel on deck.
1-2. Spikes over the head of Perriello. Okoje takes third, and Boma takes second. That's one way to do it. Takes the double play off the table, perhaps even more importantly, and now the tying runs it in scoring position, Jack.
Yeah, Perriello tried to backhand pick that ball. Got his glove on it, but it hit off his glove, went all the way to the backstop. And the Cropduster runners were able to advance.
A wild pitch from Kevin Scully sends 2 in scoring position. Okoje already with a run today. At third base, and Boma at second.
Now, Jimmy Kirk, just a deep fly ball to the outfield, can get a run in.
Did that in the playoff game. That was the game-winning run in Game 2. That one's kept on the ground and foul, though, so he'll stay alive with a ballerina count 2-2.
Jimmy Kirk just trying to get a pitch up in the zone, get a pitch that he can get deep enough into the outfield to get a run across.
Already knocked one deep into the outfield in his last at-bat, into the gap in right and center. Seems to be one of his hot zones. 2-2, 1 out, here comes. He keeps it on the ground, that's off the shortstop's face. The throw to first is off the money, off target, so run scores. That's Okoje from third. Boma takes third, and Kirk will reach first off of the error.
Jish, this is shaping up to be one of those Cropduster classics. Whenever these two teams play, you know it's going to be a heated game, you know it's going to be a close contest, and a real nice job by Jimmy Kirk. Fell behind in the count early, battled his way back, and did enough to hit the ball hard enough for Crosland. Couldn't handle it, gets the run in. Now the Cropdusters are looking for more.
It's a slugfest. 4-3, the Cropdusters trail by just 1, inching their way back after the Big Train scored 4 in that second inning. None since. The Cropdusters have scored in 3 consecutive innings. Huvel up to bat. He swings through it for strike 1. 2 on in the corners and an out. Double play on the table. Would be surprised to see Kirk try to steal, though he has tried it in the past.
Huvel runs well at the dish. Already broke up a double play earlier in the game. Beat it out.
Looks at a ball high, but it's in there for strike 2. 4-3, the Crops trail by 1. The tying run at third base. Just 1 out, but 2 strikes for Puvel. All he needs to do is pop one to the outfield. Here's the pitch. He swings through it, strike 3, a 3-pitch strikeout. Kevin Scully not letting the moment get too big and sends the batter home. But now, here comes Coy Swanson. In his last at-bat, he homered.
This is the guy you want.
The right fielder.
A great job by Scully to get the strikeout, takes the sacrifice fly out of the equation, and now it's going to need to be a hit for Swanson to get the run in.
Force at second and first with a runner at third. 2 outs, 2 on. Swanson takes the first pitch. It's in there, strike 1.
Top of the 6th inning, tying run 90 feet away. This might be the only chance they'll get. So, big opportunity for Coy Swanson.
Hey, knock on wood, you a little superstitious or something. Takes one high, ball 2.
I don't know
ball
about
1.
Superstitious. It's the
great
The
Michael
Office. Squat. Like
Michael Squat.
Yeah.
See, that's what my nickname would be at the gym if I didn't skip leg day.
Okay.
1-1.
You can't be skipping leg day, Jish.
I skip every day, actually. I don't go to the gym. Another Office reference. Ball high. 2-1 with 2 outs. Runners in the corner.
We've seen Scully do a good job of getting ahead of hitters. He got ahead of Kirk. He got ahead of Prouvel. Swanson's not going to let that happen as he's ahead in the count 2-1.
Coy Swanson.
2 outs here in the top of the 6. Runners on the corners.
Just needs a knock to get one home. That ball travels too far wide. A 3-1 swingers count for Coy Swanson, but he's seeing this strike zone well.
Scully wanted that call there. Looked like the breaking ball was just up in the zone. A little too high for the strike ball.
Tried a backdoor curveball. Didn't find it. Too low. Ball 4. Coy Swanson takes a base to juice these bases with Sammy Lice up to bat.
And that's a great at-bat there by Coy Swanson. Obviously, he wants to do damage, doesn't get his pitch, stays disciplined, gets the walk. And now 2 outs, bases loaded. A big spot for Sammy Lice to introduce himself to the only faithful.
No hits so far this season.
This would be a big one.
Sal Colangelo talks to his lefty on the mound, or his righty on the mound, Scully.
No better time to get your first hit of the season.
No better time, and I think Colangelo wants to let his pitcher know that there's no better time for this guy to get his first hit of the season. Sal Colangelo has gone the distance in this league. There's very few coaches that have put as much time and dedication as Sal Colangelo has summer after summer. He's been the blueprint.
He's a legend of the game.
He's been the blueprint for the Big Train's continued success.
Sammy Lice, the redshirt sophomore for Alabama, Georgia native, has yet to play in college baseball game. So, he's still trying to find his timing into summer ball as he's getting more and more at-bats, and now would be a great time for him to find it.
In high school, he was the 3rd-ranked catcher in the state of Georgia, 27th overall prospect in the country. According to Perfect Game. He swings through a low fastball, strike 1. Sammy Lice, we've seen him in batting practice too. Just a really smooth and powerful swing. We can see that here in game action. That can break this game wide open. 4-3, the Big Train lead with bases loaded and 2 outs. Sammy Lice is down 0-1. Checks his swing, and it's too low, ball 1.
It's a good job to have that yes, yes, no approach. Sammy Lice wants to be aggressive, sees the breaking ball out of the hand, stops his swing for a really nice take to even the count up at 1 apiece.
2 strikeouts today. 1 swing and 1 looking. He swings through a high fastball, strike 2. That's the one he wanted. Just a little too early on the swing.
Now Lice is going to have to do what Jimmy Kirk did, work his way back, dig his feet in, and have an at-bat.
Time to go to work. Sammy Lice. 2 outs, bases loaded. Cropdusters down by 1. Here's the pitch. He fouls it off his leg to stay alive at 1-2.
Lice staying alive. Doesn't quite look like his timing is there yet. Behind on a lot of pitches.
Still early in the season. This is a nice time for you to get up to speed, Sammy Lice. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cropdusters down by 1. Tying run is Ryan Boma at third base. Kirk at second.
Boma's got to be taking a big lead there at third. If he sees a passed ball.
That's in the dirt. Good block from the catcher. Ball 2, but more damage mitigated by the Virginia Tech catcher,
Yeah, Perriello's been super impressive today. When you have a 2-strike count on a runner on third, you have to allow the pitcher to have the confidence that he can throw a breaking ball in the dirt, and you're going to block it up. Perriello does just that.
Righty deals to righty. 2-2. He chops it down the third base line, and he can't grab it. Boma ties the game up, coming home from third, and Lice reaches first off of the infield hit. We're tied at 4, folks, in the top of the 6th inning.
It's a real nice at-bat there by Sammy Lice. Gets a couple of off-speed pitches in a row. Scully tries to speed him up with a fastball up in the zone, up and in. And Lice gets the barrel to it. Doesn't hit it hard, but it's that high chopper just high enough to make it a tough play for the third baseman, Newman. And he can't get it done.
Way to work from Sammy Lice, not letting the moment get too big, and ties this ball game up. Cropdusters and the Big Train tied at 4. Ben Davis up to bat. Still searching for his first hit. Reached on a throwing error earlier this game. Takes the first pitch outside ball 1. The breaking ball could not come back in.
Bottom of the lineup, getting the job done for the Cropdusters, and I'm sure they want to take the lead. They're not satisfied with just tying it up here.
Takes the second pitch, but it's in there. Strike 1. A little too far outside for the lefty's liking. So he'll live to swing again. Bases still loaded. with 2 outs, and the lead-taking run, Jimmy Kirk, is at third base. 1-1, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Takes it high and away, ball 2. Good snag from the catcher, Perriello, though I doubt Jimmy Kirk runs regardless.
Yeah, it would be real tough for Jimmy Kirk to advance on a pass ball. He would have to get a good read.
The 2-1 with 2 outs, bases loaded, and a tie ball game, top of the 6th. Fouled off left side, strike 2.
And this is a spot where Scully has to bear down. He's given up the tie, but he has to have that bend, don't break mentality, because this run at third is the most important run of the game so far. So if he can get out of it with a tie, he's got to take that at this point.
See what Kevin Scully's made of here. Davis from McDaniel, hungry for his first pitch, for his first hit. 2-2. He takes it high. Wasn't eager there. The ball is well beyond the mitt of Perriello, but Jimmy Kirk does not come home from third as we suspected.
He thought about it, and then he thought better.
Ball was away from the grass for a little bit, but a good job from Scully, immediately going to help his catcher out and covering that home plate. Now a full count with bases loaded and 2 outs.
Biggest pitch of the game.
Something's got to give right here.
This could be a momentum changer.
A walk would give the Cropdusters the lead. The 3-2, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. High, it is a walk. Davis takes the base. Kirk walks in from third. The Cropdusters have their first lead of the game. It's 5-4 in the top of this 6th inning.
Just one of those games, you thought early on when Jordan Crosland hit that absolute mammoth of a homer that it could be one of those games, but the Cropdusters showing some tenacity. Alex Kuehn really settled in after that. Garrett Corbett has done a really nice job in relief, and the offense has come alive to take the lead.
And there is a second meeting at the mound. Sal Colangelo walks over to meet Kevin Scully on the mound, so there will be a pitching change after he loaded the bases 3 straight times, allowed the Cropdusters to take the lead. Only 2/3 of an inning pitched for Scully, and his day is done. 4 hits allowed, 3 runs, 2 of them earned with 2 walks and a strikeout for Kevin Scully. Far from ideal, and the Cropdusters. The Big Train are staring at their first deficit of the season so far, and how fitting is it that it's the Cropdusters that's the one they're giving it to?
Jish, you talked about Scully last year against the Cropdusters. Doesn't get the job done either this year. We could be seeing them in his nightmares.
Jordan Capuano is the reliever in for the Big Train, a righty.
Big Train going through a lot of pitchers. This is the 4th pitcher of the game for Bethesda.
Jordan Capuano from UNC Wilmington. Only pitched in 2/3 innings this college season. 2 strikeouts and 3 walks in that time. Capuano stands at 6'1", 215. Pretty good size. Meaty arms, not very long.
Meaty arms, that's your analysis there, Jish?
You see some pitchers have the really long, lanky arms. They're going to have a lot of action, maybe a lot of run on it. The meaty arms, they're going to punch it in the corners. They might not have the best most run on their throws, but this is my attempt doing your job. My attempt doing color. He doesn't skip arm day. I don't know about leg day, but this guy's got meaty arms.
This guy's got meaty arms. Jish Sokolsky, everybody.
Jish Sokolsky and Jack Feldman. Here in the top of the 6th inning, the Cropdusters have scored 3 already to take a 5-4 lead over their North Division rivals. The last 2 runs were walked in.
So, Capuano is going to have to do a job. This is not an easy situation to come into. 1-run lead for the Cropdusters. Base is still loaded at 2 outs.
The good thing that
for the lineup is trying to do more damage.
Good thing for Capuano is that there's a force that every base, 2 outs, they only do 1 to go their way. The bad news is it's Carter Hines up to bat. He's had himself a day. He's 0 for 1, but he has a walk already. Another one of those would bring in a runner to give the Cropdusters a 2-run lead, and would bring the Crops back to the top of the order where Josh Reinhold is pretty consistent for a hit. He's 2 for 3 on the day. Hines steps into the righty batter's box against the righty. A good frame from Perriello, but it doesn't result in a strike. Ball 1. Off that top right corner.
Carter Hines hitting .285 on the season. as the Cropdusters are trying to pour it on here at Shirley Povich Field.
1-0 the count. In the dirt, ball 1. Or ball 2, excuse me.
Carter Hines is not a guy you want to fall behind because when you put a pitch in the zone, you know he's going to make contact for it. Does not whiff much.
Capuano still getting warmed up. 2 balls to no strikes, 2 outs and bases loaded. Puts one in Hines' wheelhouse. He fouls it off right side. First baseman giving chase, but it's over the fence. 4 strike 1.
And this is a tough spot for Capuano to be in to throw strikes and come in from the bullpen, still getting warmed up, but he walks him in here, that walks in a run.
Hines has the responsibility of diagnosing the pitches first, not getting any teammate to tell him what's coming next. Capuano can work with that advantage. Steps off with a 2-1 count and 2 outs.
Just trying to collect himself in this big spot.
Davis at first.
Take
Swanson at second. And a runner at third. Hines takes one low, ball 3. So Hines is 1 ball away from making it a 6-4 ball game. Cropdusters just recently took the lead off of a walk from Ben Davis, the previous batter, on a full count no less.
Carter Hines in the driver's seat.
3-1. 2 low, ball 4, and it gets away from the catcher, but regardless, a walk brings in a run. Coy Swanson jogs in from third base to make it a 6-4 ball game. Cropdusters lead over the big train.
And now the Cropdusters have the top of the lineup coming up, looking to do even more damage. And Jish, this is one of those games where we know it's going to be back and forth. The Cropdusters need to score as many runs here as they can because we know Big Train's going to be coming.
Reinhold early in this season is hitting .600. Another multi-hit game after 1 in his first outing. He's got runners on every base. That one misses high, ball 1.
Capuano tries to float in the off-speed there to get ahead 0-1. Leaves it up.
Perhaps a forbidden fruit type of pitch for Reinhold, too. See if he would swing at that. Reinhold stays disciplined. 1-0. He cracks that one into the glove of the shortstop. A nice leaping play from Jordan Crossland, tracking to his left and giving the big train their 3rd out and getting them out of this full-run inning for the Cropdusters, leaving 3 on base.
Huge inning for the Cropdusters, and that's a real big play there. Jordan Crossland leaping in the air, outstretched, is able to come up with the baseball to stop the bleeding as the Cropdusters are ahead 6-4.
If that's through, it could have been a 7, maybe even an 8-4 ball game, but as it stands, 6-4 after the top of the 6th. The Cropdusters exploded for 4 runs. Let's see how the big train responds when we come back for the bottom of this 6th inning. Cropdusters lead 6-4 after a full run top of this 6th inning. We're here at the bottom of the 6th inning. Jish Sokolsky with Jack Feldman. The big train's turn to respond, though. They haven't scored since the 2nd inning, and Garrett Corbett stays out there. 2 scoreless innings pitched thus far. He's looked pretty solid, Jack.
He's been real nice, only giving up 1 hit in his 2 innings of work, so he's looking to continue that.
The first pitch finds the zone, strike 1. On the off-speed, we saw him beating batters early with the heat, maybe touching those lower 90s, but The off-speed's working as well. 0-1.
This is a really important inning, Jish, for Big Train. Punch back.
Absolutely. This is a confidence-building inning. These bats have shown they can do it. Now it's time to see what they do with a little bit of adversity. He takes one in the belly of the strike zone to bring it to 2 strikes with just 1 ball for the lead-off hitter for the Big Train. That's number 27, the designated hitter, Chris Diaz.
Big Train has their 5, 6, 7 hitters coming up.
1-2. Looks at it. Ball 2.
Yeah, Corbett wanted that pitch. That was a really nice breaking ball. Just dropped in there. Didn't get the call.
Diaz is 1 for 1 in the day with a run. Hit by a pitch earlier this game, but that's in there. Strike 3. Low inside corner. He had to duck away from it. But good job painting the corner with the fastball from Corbett. He picks up his 2nd strikeout of the game, and it comes on the leadoff hitter.
Corbett's been really impressive today. Slows the batter down and then speeds him up and gets the punch out.
So striking out a lefty, now faces a righty. That's well over the head of Lice. No runners on, so no damage done, except for a ball. Josh Scarance, it's Landon Franklin up to bat now for the Big Train. Watches one float into the zone for strike 2. The slider going left to right finds the lower portion. Now here's the 1-1. Contact made. Good contact to center field. Huvel tracks back, makes the grab over his head for out 2.
Yeah, Landon Franklin's having a really good start to the season, hitting over 400. Puts a nice swing on it there, but Huvel, who has been terrific at center field today defensively, makes a nice run catch.
Huvel made a highlight-level diving catch earlier in this game to rob the Big Train of a hit from Jordan Crossland, and then the very next batter took one over his head. First pitch from Corbett against Carter Newman is in there for strike 1. Second pitch catches him swinging for strike 2. Corbett's 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. 1-2-3.
Corbett working quickly. He's getting a lot of swing and misses now. He's been filling it up. Only 1 walk so far in his outing.
The 0-2. Swung through and missed. Strike 3. Garrett Corbett dusted him. His 2nd strikeout of the inning. 3rd of the contest. Puts the 6th inning to bed. Cropdusters bats ready to go again after taking the lead the last time. We'll see it at the top of the 7th inning. No hits, no runners on, and no runs scored. The Big Train are going cold. Welcome back. Top of the 7th inning. The Cropdusters have a 6-4 lead over the big bad Big Train. Jish, Sokolsky, Jack Feldman on the call. Jack, we just saw a banana race a hot dog down the third base line. Banana took the W in this one, but I don't know. Would you rather have a banana or a hot dog in a race?
I feel like the hot dog might be a little more aerodynamic, a little skinnier.
Yeah, if it rolls on its side.
To be honest, banana's got some weight to lose.
See, if
the thicker on the midsection.
Are we body shaming a banana right now? Cropdusters bats get going. It's Ahia Koje. Looks at the first pitch, low, ball 1. I feel like a banana could, if it starts going in the cartwheel motion, it builds up more momentum. I feel like maybe
You
if
think a
we're...
banana can do a cartwheel?
Well, if you like roll it on its side, like end over
gonna
end,
get
like a
dizzy.
football,
It's gonna get dizzy.
You can't get dizzy. It's a banana. Koji fouls one off, strike one.
If we're assuming the banana can run, then I think we would also have to assume.
Well,
the
we're
banana
not
can
assuming the
get
banana
dizzy.
can run. We're assuming the banana and the hot dog are rolling, I would say. In this scenario, if it's a roll-off, yeah, the hot dog may be on its side, but I feel like that dies. Banana gets that end-over-end momentum. It's going to be the hot dog every day. 6-4 the Crops lead. 1-1. Koji pops one up to shallow center field. 3 big train members giving chase. The center fielder calls everyone off, makes the run to the dirt, and makes the grab for out 1.
And that was a really big last half inning for Garrett Corbett. He looked electric, and whenever you have a big inning, the Cropdusters come back, take the lead. The next half is always so important, and for the Cropdusters to get the shutdown there is big.
6-4 Cropdusters, now with 1 out at the top of this 6th inning, and Ryan Boma, the 3-hole hitter, up to bat. I think he heard our conversation about the banana and hot dog. He was having a good time with it. We're right by the Cropdusters on-deck circle. He lines one right to the second baseman on the first pitch for out 2. That puts a jolt in this crowd. Perhaps a good defensive play is just what the doctor wanted for this big train.
Boma did everything right, put a great swing on it, just right at the second baseman, Landon Franklin.
Good job from Franklin. A little leap, caught it over his head with the left hand. Now it's Jimmy Kirk up to bat with none on. And 2 outs. See if he can play the hero here. Had a double earlier today. Walked his last at bat. Takes one low, ball 1.
And Jimmy Kirk is a guy who's played 2 previous seasons for the Cropdusters, so he knows all about this rivalry, and he probably more than any other Cropdusters player wants to beat Big Train.
The venue has been very kind to Jimmy Kirk. He's hit 2 out of the ballpark, and that might be a third. Well hit deep into right, in the gap and over the wall. Jimmy Kirk does it again. The solo shot in the top of the 7th makes it 7-4 Cropdusters. Jimmy Kirk goes oppo taco and climbs over the tall fence in the right center field. 7-4 Cropdusters.
Jimmy Kirk looks like he's found his timing, just absolutely mashing baseballs right now. Multi-extra base hits. That one, another opposite field home run. We talked about his tendency to go oppo taco, and he does it there.
It's now 7-4 Cropdusters with 2 outs at the top of this 7th. Jimmy Kirk gets his first dinger of the season. We expect plenty more. If he's getting his timing down now, look out for the rest of the Cal Ripken League. Here's the pitch. Puvel swings through it, strike 1.
Just you mentioned that Shirley Povich Field has been especially kind to Jimmy Kirk. I feel like every venue in the Ripken League has been kind to Kirk.
It's been first responder field. He's hitting 3 out of the park there last season, 2 out of the park here. Here's the 0-1. Takes it low and inside for ball 1. Puvel evens things up. And Puvel, I would say he is the one who really sparked this Cropdusters rally with his incredible defense in center field. Really put a jolt into this Cropdusters hitting lineup as well.
Yeah, if he doesn't make that diving catch in center or that ball at the wall, it could be a completely different ball game.
Puvel looks at a ball well placed in that bottom inside corner. Capuano does a good job locating the strike 2. And he's 1 strike away from getting out of this inning after allowing the dinger. 1-2, 2 outs, none on. Crops lead by 3. Swings through it, strike 3. Puvel's out of there. He heads to the dugout fruitless, but the Cropdusters don't. 1-run cross is on the home run from Jimmy Kirk. We head to the 7th inning stretch. Big Train to bat next to the bottom of the 7th inning. Stay with us. Well, there's a new pitcher on the mound for the Cropdusters after they took a 7-4 lead, courtesy of Jimmy Kirk. We're here in the bottom of the 7th. Jish, Sokolsky, and Jack Feldman on the call. That new pitcher, Tori Indomenico, played for the Mets scout team, which is the best Canes national team in the country, and now plays for Notre Dame, the righty. Didn't play all his freshman year, but he's still got it, as we see in these warm-ups here, Jack.
Indomenico has absolutely electric stuff. The lefty coming across his body. You're getting that diving action on his breaking ball. Absolutely phenomenal fastball. I think he could be one of the key pitchers for the Cropdusters this season. And just some defensive changes for the Dusters this inning.
You're absolutely right. That's Parker Fry in for Ben Davis at first base. And it looks as though there is a new catcher as well. That is Connor Spellman. Or that kind of looks like Ben Davis behind the plate. It's kind of hard to see because the number is blocked off. But that does look like a 32 to me, which is Ben Davis' number. But with the helmet off, he does kind of look like him. I believe that's Ben Davis behind the plate.
The left fielder, Josh Skarotsky.
Haven't seen that in
it
college.
looks like
So it appears as though
it might be.
I believe Sammy Lice's day is done behind the mound, and that's why the defensive change is in order. But they wanted to keep Davis in the lineup. And Domenico, the lefty, gets his first batter of the day, and it's sent deep into right, nicely hit, and it falls for a base hit at the fence. He rounds for two. Skaronski gets a standing double, his second of the day, on the first pitch he sees from Tori Domenico.
That's impressive stuff there by Skaronski, lefty on lefty matchup. Just absolutely blisters that one to the wall for the stand-up double.
Nice pull from 6'5", 220 left fielder. So now already, with a runner in scoring position, Indomenico talks things over with his catcher, Davis, who we haven't seen catch at all. But, there's two catchers still on the way for the Cropdusters, not here in Maryland yet. Connor Janesco from ECU and Kuehn from UPenn. Both will be late additions to the roster, so there's a first baseman playing behind the plate. Indomenico with one on, no outs. And the bottom of the order, Perriello. In the dirt, ball one.
What a block there by Davis.
Not typically a catcher. Really big to be playing catcher, too. He's getting about 6'4".
I mean, that's the size you want for a catcher. Catchers are usually, on the bigger side. Being able to block that up.
Got to be a lot of weight on the legs, though.
Typically catchers are 6'3", 6'4",
The 1-0, Perillo gets none of it.
Well north of the 200-pound mark.
1-1 with no outs and one on at second base. Perriello in the righty batter's box facing off against the lefty pitcher. That's usually an advantageous matchup for the batter. Here's the 1-1. He looks at it, misses wide, ball two, just on the line of that strike zone. Tried to fool him with the off-speed, but good eye from the bottom of the order hitter.
Jish, I just realized I was still wearing my sunglasses. I was wondering why the game was pretty dark.
The lights are on, the sun is away. It's a beautiful atmosphere, but you can hear a pin drop. Time called by the umpire. Perriello just needs another minute to think about it, steps out of the box and back in.
Yeah, Indomenico still trying to find his command, first outing of the summer. Get some innings under his belt.
Ball in the dirt, 3-1 the count, with no outs and a runner on. It's his first innings in probably over a year, you'd imagine.
Yeah, you can throw as many live at-bats as you want, you can throw as many bullpens as you want, but nothing quite compares to the real thing.
Indomenico deals to Perriello. The Italian connection. Sent backwards, 3-2, after the foul ball puts a strike on the scoreboard.
So this is a situation where Indomenico can come in and be effective. That's really big for the Big Train as we're getting down to the bottom of the 7th inning. 3-run ball game, 7-4. Indomenico has to be good here. He has to be able to hold the Big Train.
Full count. No outs. Cropdusters lead by 3. Big Train looking to claw back. The 6th run is at the plate. He swings through it and misses. Strike 3. Tori Indomenico dusted him. High pressure situation on the full count, but caught the bottom of the order hitter swinging. And sends him back to the dugout without any fruits.
Looks like, Luca Perriello, the 9-hole hitter. Full count for Indomenico. The last thing you want to do is walk the 9 hitting catchers. So, great job for him to bear down and get the first out of the inning.
Regardless, you'll have to face Jordan Crossland, who's made great plays on defense and great plays on offense. The leadoff hitter for the big train takes one low, but it's a strike for strike one.
Crossland hit a towering homer. Came close to hitting a second one. He's been all over it tonight.
That second one, of course, was robbed by Griffin Pouvel, playing at center field for the Cropdusters. The 0-1 takes it low and away. Ball one.
This would be a huge out for Indomenico to get, and a hard guy to strike out, Jish.
1 ball and 1 strike. Cropdusters lead by 3 with a runner in scoring position at second base. And the dangerous Crossland to hit. That's well over the head of the catcher, Davis. Skoronsky will walk to third on a wild pitch, and now the sacrifice fly is in play for the big train to cut this lead.
That's one of those things where Indomenico, has not pitched much as of late in college at Notre Dame, so he's still trying to find his command. But this is a hard guy to find your command against, Jish. 2 for 3 tonight. Absolutely off to a blazing start.
With the home run, of course, and the single to get things going at the bottom of the first inning.
He's also made some really nice defensive plays at shortstop. Had the leaping catch earlier in the game.
Nice block to turn a double play as well. 2-1 with a runner at third. He takes it inside, ball 3. Tori Indomenico found himself in this situation with the last batter, too, before striking him out. The only out of the inning thus far in the bottom of the 7th. The Cropdusters holding on to a 3-1 lead. Here's the pitch. Takes it low, ball 4. Now there's runners in the corners, and that sets up a double play if the Cropdusters can turn it.
It's not a bad walk, Jish. It's not a bad walk. Crossland is not a guy you want to face. Sets up the double play. Indomenico's a ground ball away from getting out of the inning. So, that doesn't hurt you too much.
The only time Indomenico is given a bat or something they could score up on it, resulting in a double.
It does bring the tying run to the plate, however.
It does. Jaden Bastian from Jacksonville University is the tying run with runners in the corners and 1 out.
Indomenico hailing from Chicago.
Another long distance to travel. That's off the dirt, ball 1.
Ben Davis has been really impressive this inning behind the plate.
Absolutely. For his first appearance as a catcher,
he's got to be a guy that, had some innings in high school. He's experienced enough in the position. But
and who would know about his high school career more than head coach Adam Leader? Davis played at Reservoir. That's in there, strike 1. Fastball inside. Bastian didn't see it properly. Evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. With 1 out, runners in the corners. Cropdusters hold on to a 7-4 lead.
Pitchers are always talking about winning the evens. When you have a 1-1 count, the next pitch is so crucial.
Lefty versus righty. He checks his swing, but it's in there. Strike 2.
And that's the type of swing that, if you're Indomenico, that's an ugly swing there by Bastian. So if you see that on that slider, you got to think about doubling up on that pitch.
Bastian asked for clarification from the umpire before stepping back into the righty batter's box. Hit 6 home runs in college this season. Another one would even things up. Cropdusters lead 7-4. Here's the pitch. Runner goes. It's kept on the ground. That'll beat the double play, but the throw to first is on time for out 2, and not before the runner scores from third to make it 7-5. Cropdusters still lead, but the big train fight back. Their first run since the second inning. We're now in the bottom of the 7th.
Bastian, the center fielder, has some speed, so it would have been interesting to see that ball was not hit that hard. They would be able to turn it without Crossland being in motion, but Crossland being in motion does take the double play out of the equation.
Well-timed, high IQ play from Crossland to reach second. Big Train's tying run is at the plate. It's Davin Whitaker, their 3-hole hitter. The lefty sends one backwards, strike 1.
Whitaker hitting .250 on the season, but he's 2 for 3 tonight.
Still early in the season. So they must trust Whitaker enough to put him... There's a reason they trust him to put him in this 3-hole. 0-1 the count. The runner at second. Reinhold, the shortstop, playing very close to second with Hines, the second baseman, with his heels on the grass. Checks his swing, ball low, to even things up at 1-1 with 2 outs.
Whitaker plays school ball at ECU. It always seems like Big Train has a couple of ECU players on the team.
Whitaker 2 for 3 today. Another one would send into the runner. That is fouled off left side, strike 2.
And Domenico gets another lefty-lefty matchup. And speaking of ECU, Michael Irby goes to ECU. He was the starting pitcher for the Cropdusters last night.
ECU, they just
Phenomenal
produced
job.
They produced talent, even though he didn't play really at all his freshman year. Came in and looked very impressive in 3 innings. There's a reason you go to ECU, one of the best college baseball programs in the country. 1-2. Fouled again to stay alive at 1-2. Contact made with just the very end of the bat there. He kind of nubbed it off to the foul end. So the lefty steps back in with some more data to work with on Torrey and Domenico.
Domenico 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning.
1-2, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Cropdusters lead 7-5. And Domenico with a strikeout already earlier this inning. Here's the 1-2. That is hammered deep into the right center gap. And Buzell tries over to squeeze. It falls for a hit. Carlson scores from second. Whitaker slides into second for the double to make it a 1-run game. Buvell just barely couldn't make that squeeze. It would have ended the inning. Instead, the Big Train have a chance to take the lead with Matt Wesley up to bat and a runner at second base.
Buvell was so close to his 3rd highlight reel play of the night. We got the jump. We got the read. Did everything perfectly. Just could not squeeze the baseball. And Big Train with a situation where they can tie the game up here.
Sliding to the right field, just a really unfortunate in-and-out play. So 2 outs, and now Matt Wesley up to bat. He has a home run earlier this season. First pitch misses high, ball 1. Now in Domenico. Has gotten a little adversity thrown his way. See how he responds. This first innings of
in scoring position.
That one misses high over the head of Davis, and now the time runs at third base. And the crowd is back into it, cheering on their guys.
Seems like Domenico is missing arm side.
And now pitching coach Ben Looper goes out to talk to his lefty with 2 balls and no strikes, 2 outs. A very tough situation to be in for the sophomore. He's missed quite a few pitches high so far, you know. After not pitching all season, it's going to take a little bit for him to get back into game form, but they thought he's ready, and they probably still think he's ready. I doubt a change is being made yet. There are 2 emergency pitchers in case he does need some relief, but he still is just 1 out away. It was crushing that he couldn't finish the job with 1 strike. But he picks up the rosin.
You know, when you have a pitcher like Domenico who has the talent, you know, he's an uber-talented guy. He just has to get the experience, get the innings under his belt, and there's no doubt in my mind as the season goes on, he's just going to look better and better.
Tying run is at third base. Cropdusters lead 7-6. Wesley at the plate, the righty. That's off the chest of Davis. It's behind him in the time. They took 1 inning, and the Big Train tied it back up 3 runs to make it 7-7. Now bases are empty. 3 balls, 2 outs for Wesley. And man, oh man, it was just when it looked like the Cropdusters were about to run away with it, the Big Train stormed all the way back and tied things up.
Jish, it's just going to be one of these games. Either team has the chance to get the W. They just have to reach out and grab it. And we talked about Ben Davis, not traditionally a catcher behind the plate. Had some nice blocks this inning, but couldn't block that one with the runner on third base.
3-0 pitch misses wide. Ball 4. Wesley walks. The lead-taking run is at first base with the 5-hole hitter, Chris Diaz, up to bat. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a run and a strikeout.
Diaz!
Lefty versus lefty, so that benefits Domenico.
Domenico already with more walks than Corbett or Kuehn. Cropdusters pitchers have done a nice job of filling it up.
1-0 the count. He misses again on the first pitch low. Misses again low, ball 2. Domenico just seems frazzled just a little bit. He got the go-ahead, the confidence from his coach, Ben Looper. But he's got to start throwing strikes. 2-0, and Domenico nods and looks at first. He delivers. Runner goes. That's low. Davis pops up. The throw's not on time. Off the bounce, the runner's safe at second.
So the go-ahead run now in scoring position for Bethesda Big Train. Domenico really needs to bear down here.
7 straight balls for Domenico, including the wild pitch that brought in the tying run. 3 balls to no strikes for Diaz at the plate. Here's the 3-0, and it misses again. Ball. No, that's in there. Diaz thought it missed. I thought it missed, but it just barely grazes the lower left corner on the fastball for strike 1.
That was in there. That looks good to me.
You have a slightly different perspective than I do, perhaps.
Yeah, you do have the better angle than me.
The 3-1. He checks his swing, and it's in there. Strike 2. So finally, Domenico's finding it, working the lower part in the last 2 pitches. Has frozen the bat of Diaz. We'll see what he does with a 3-2 and 2 outs. Go-ahead run at second. Here's the 3-2. Low ball. He'll walk.
And that's one of those things. You see Ben Davis, tap his chest. Davis was not able to squeeze that one. And a lot of times, if the catcher doesn't touch the ball, it's going to be real tough, for the umpire to touch him out. So Ben Davis says, that one's on me, that one's on me. So a couple of times this inning, not having a traditionally trained catcher behind the dish has come back to bite the Dusters.
Landon Franklin up to bat. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. His first hit right here, though, would be huge. It would send in the go-ahead run, but here comes Coach Adam Leader. That means Domenico's day is done. 2/3 of an inning pitched. And that means either Parker Dean or Steve Shenning will get their first appearance on the mound. We'll see who it is coming out of the bullpen for the Cropdusters. But far from an ideal outing for Domenico. Got a strikeout, but 3 runs scored, including the tying run. 7-7 with the runners in second and first. It's going to be Parker Dean checking in to hopefully clean this up for the Cropdusters.
Big spot for Parker Dean, trying to keep the game knotted at 7 apiece as we're getting into the later innings. Still bottom of the 7th.
Parker Dean,
huge opportunity for Dean to make an impression.
The righty from Purdue, stands very tall, about 6'5". Also did not see any time this past season after redshirting his freshman year. Sophomore year, still no action.
Parker Dean's throwing from a little bit of a lower arm angle, got some right to left movement in his pitches.
It takes the batters a little bit more time to really diagnose where that pitch is going, though. Side A.
And a lot of times, Jish, we see these Power 5 guys come in, and they have absolutely electric stuff, but, are not able to command the zone. Parker Dean's a little bit older, he's a junior, upperclassman, redshirted his freshman year, so, hopefully he has a little bit of that experience and is able to pound the zone.
We'll definitely see.
Dean from Russiaville, Indiana.
They always got those interesting names out there. They've got like a Moscow, Ohio, like St. Petersburg out there. Russiaville, I'm sure, is of the same vine. My roommate at college is from Indiana, too. I wonder if Russiaville is quite close to that. Cropdusters had 2 Purdue players on their roster last year. Right-handed pitcher Cade Ruffner was an all-star. And the shortstop Corbin Malott finished hitting over 300 on the year. Parker Dean has a career similar to that with the Cropdusters, and they're in good hands at the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a tie ball game, though. Go-ahead run is at second base for the Big Train.
Dean's going to be real tough on righties, comes across his body, really hard for a righty to pick the ball up out of his hands.
The righty himself, he doesn't throw the hardest, but the left-to-right movement has been apparent, at least from the eye test in these warm-up pitches. We'll see how he does in his first live ABs in a game in his college career. 2 outs and 2 on at second and first. Go-ahead run in scoring position for the big train. It's tied at 7 in the bottom of the 7th. Dean will look back in the delivery. High and inside, ball 1. Went with some high heat early, but the big train batter's waiting for his hit.
Big Train has the 6, 7, 8 coming up in the lineup. 2 outs in the inning.
1-0. That's in there on the skinny part of the strike zone to even things up at 1-1. Parker Dean pitching pretty close to this righty batter, Landon Franklin. Here's the 1-1. He's kept the bat on his shoulder, and to no avail. That's in the top right corner for strike 2. He's still working the inside part of that strike zone, and it's working really well for Dean.
That's one of those pitches at the top of the zone. The 1-1 pitch, so crucial, gets ahead, and now he's in the driver's seat in the at-bat.
1-2. That's in there, a looking strikeout. Parker Dean gets out of it, but not before the score is tied. Torian Domenico gives up 3 runs to make it 7-7. Cropdusters can respond at the top of this 8th inning. Don't go anywhere. We're in for an exciting, a thrilling finish here at Shirley Povich Field. Stay with us on YouTube. Well, as Rocky Balboa once said, it's not about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep going. Big Train got hit pretty hard in these middle innings, giving up 7 straight runs, but they came back with 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th to tie things up at 7 apiece. Cropdusters bats get to respond, though, to the counterpunch from the Big Train at the top of this 8th inning. Jish Sokolsky and Jack Feldman on the call for this tie ball game in the top of the 8th. Man, oh man. It's going to be a close finish, as it seems like it always is when the Cropdusters play the Big Train.
It's just a quick look around the league. Giants being the T-Boats 7-1. Aces losing to the Senators 3-2. The other 2 games in action in the Ripken League.
Not nearly as exciting as a 7-7 slugfest. First pitch to Coy Swanson, misses high and away, ball 1. Coy Swanson, of course, homered earlier this game. The second run of the day was a solo shot in that 5th inning. 1-0, it's still Capulov. Swanson wanted another one, swung right through that pitch for strike 1.
Boy, Swanson swings super hard.
Absolutely. We have a bunch of hard swingers on these Cropdusters this year. The lefty steps back into the box. Dealing versus the righty. The 1-1 with no outs. 2 low, ball 2.
Parker Fry on deck. He came in to play first base for Ben Davis, who went behind the dish, so he'll have his first at-bat of the night.
Parker Fry knocked in the first run last night versus the Thunderbolts, a game that the Cropdusters ended up winning 16-6. Ball 3 misses low.
2 really dangerous hitters back-to-back for the Cropdusters here. So they're trying to reclaim the lead here in the 8th inning.
Knotted at 7, a 3-1 for Swanson at the dish. He takes it, but it's in there, strike 2. A full count for the leadoff Swanson. He's worked really hard this game. 1 for 2, 2 runs, had a walk as well. Full count. None on, no outs. That's in there, just barely scraping the outside portion of the zone. A looking strikeout. Capuolo. Building off the momentum the bats gave the Big Train, and gets out of the leadoff hitter with a strikeout.
for the Cropdusters.
Capuano
number 30,
throws him on the curveball to have the confidence in the 3-2 situation. Absolutely cannot let the runner on base there if you're Capuano to throw that breaking ball, and Swanson was just left staring.
So now it's Parker Frey's first at-bat of the night. The lefty stands tall with his bat pointed towards the sky. No runners on, in and out in a tie ball game. Takes one in the strike zone to go behind 0-1.
And pinch hitting is one of the hardest things in baseball. To come off the bench cold, immediately get thrown into the action, a tall task for Parker Frey.
The 0-1 after a low strike. Frey stands 6'5". Lays off that one. Finds the left side of the zone. Strike 2.
So Frey down quick 0-2, and now he's got to make it an at-bat, make it a battle.
Capuano has a strategy versus the lefties. Off speed to the left side. Frey sends one foul to stay alive at 0-2. Good crack of the bat. Sent one to the opposite field, foul territory. He wants a big swing here, but he dug for that one quite a bit. Pitch was low. 2 strikes, no balls, none on, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Sent backwards again. Frey working hard to stay alive. Keeps it with just 2 strikes and 0 balls.
So Frey hitting in the 7th hole for the Dusters. If they're able to turn the lineup back to the top, that would be really big to have the top of the lineup hitting in the 9th inning.
Capuano shakes off a few pitches from his catcher. Now steps off to get on the same page. Against Parker Frey. 2 runs batted in this season, but no runners on the base paths to work with. Let's see how he creates for himself. The 0-2. Misses high, ball 1. Really hard to miss the wide strike zone of Parker Frey, standing at 6'5", but Capuano skies one over him for the first ball. High heat. He can work with... He had some ground to work with, though, with 2 strikes, just to see if Frey would take one. And he does there. Lines one fair into the right field. Frey rounds for 2, and he gets there standing up. A beauty of a ball hit on a rope to the right field, and now the go-ahead run is at second for the Cropdusters with just 1 out.
The first baseman.
So a big opportunity here for the Dusters in the top of the 8th inning. Ben Davis at bat. They're going to have the 8 and 9 hitters looking to get the job done.
What's interesting is it's back-to-back-to-back lefties for the Cropdusters, too. Swanson a lefty, Frey a lefty, and now Ben Davis, the first baseman who's been catching the lefty, coming out to swing the bat as well. With just 1 out and a runner in scoring position, Davis still looking for his first hit. Walked in a run his previous at-bat. That was the go-ahead run.
Frey's got to be taking a good secondary at second. If he can advance to third on a pass ball, put the sac fly into position.
Although you can't necessarily rely on that. This pitcher, Capuano, has really cleaned up his act and thrown strikes, accurate pitches, as this game has progressed. A look back in the pitch. Davis wanted it all with that swing. Got nothing. 0-1 the count.
Carter Hines on deck. He's the guy you want hitting in this situation. A guy that can put the ball in play, hit for high average.
That's in the dirt. Good block from Periolo behind the dish. So Davis will even things up with 1 ball and 1 strike. With an out and a runner at second. The lead-taking run in a tie ball game. 7-7. A look back from Capuano. Too low again, ball 2.
Good job by Ben Davis to get ahead in the count.
Dust flies off the home plate on that one. 2 straight low balls. Ben Davis has been looking at the south part of the strike zone very well.
Davis looking to yank a ball down that right field line.
2-1. Takes one high, and that's the right decision for Davis. Ball 3. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, though, for a walk that sets up the force at second and first. Double play would end the inning for the big train.
Hines grounded into a double play earlier in the game.
Let's not say that too loud. He's right in front of us. 3 balls, 1 strike. 1 out and the runner at second. Fouled one off to even the count. Or, excuse me, to fill up the count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and Coach Cam Hyder made an impressive lefty grab off the hop on that foul ball. That elicited an eruption of applause.
Yeah, the crowd got fired up for that one, Jish.
Full count, 1 out. Cam Hyder makes a play at first. Here's the pitch. He checks his swing. It's low, and he went around, says the third base umpire, for a strikeout, and now there's 2 outs, and Carter Hines up to bat with a runner at second.
This is the guy you want, Jish. You know he's going to put up a tough at-bat. You mentioned it, one of the hardest players to strike out in all of college baseball.
Forget about striking out. He needs a hit, and this might be one of the most important at-bats of the game when it all comes down to it. Top of the 8th, tie game with a runner in scoring position.
And he's going to get pitches to hit. You know, Reinhold lurking on deck. You do not want to turn the lineup over if you're Capuano.
2 outs. 2 low. Ball 1. Capuano, like Wine, has gotten better with the more time he's faced on the mound. Inherited a pretty bad situation from Kevin Scully with bases loaded, got out of it, and has since neutralized the Cropdusters batters except for the Jimmy Kirk home run at the top of the last inning.
It's always so impressive when a pitcher gets out of a big jam, you know, high emotions, then he goes back in the dugout, emotions settle, goes back on the mound, and still able to be effective. You know, it's really hard when you have that roller coaster of emotions, but Capuano has done a phenomenal job.
1-0, Fry takes a lead at second base. He's the leading run. That breaking ball misses inside, ball 2. 2 balls to no strikes for Carter Hines, not letting the moment get too big. And what a big moment it is. Tie ball game. Top of the 8th inning. Cropdusters tied with the Big Train, the reigning champions of the Cal Ripken League. The 2-0. He takes that one in the strike zone for strike 1. Some ground he could afford to give up. But a well-placed pitch on the outside portion of the strike zone with the fastball.
Yeah, 2-1 count now. Hines just looking for a specific pitch in a specific spot to do some damage.
2 balls, 1 strike. 2 outs and 1 on. A look back in the pitch. He sends that one on a line to right, and it does not fall. No, it does fall. A leaping grab is not on time from the right fielder, and Fry scores from second. Carter Hines gives the Cropdusters a lead after the ball jumps in and out of the right fielder's glove. It's 8-7 Cropdusters with a top of the order 2 up.
You know, the crowd here at Shirley Povich Field has fell silent. What an awesome piece of hitting there by Carter Hines. Going the other way, and Whitaker tried to make a nice play in right field. Looked like he trapped that ball.
In one of the biggest moments of the season so far, the 9-hole hitter comes up clutch. Josh Reinhold swings through the first pitch for strike 1. 8-7 Cropdusters if you're just joining us. Carter Hines, the second baseman, hitting in the 9-hole spot, just singled to the right field to give the Cropdusters the lead. He now sits at first base with 2 outs, 1 strike and no balls to the plate for Josh Reinhold. Takes one low, it's out of the grasp of the catcher, but Hines will stay put. Not a lot of aggression from the base running from the Cropdusters today. After the two runners that were caught stealing earlier this game, there hasn't been too many steal attempts, haven't been too many attempts to run on wild pitches and passed balls. Say that 10 times fast.
You know, looking ahead to the 9th inning, you know, Big Train's going to have the 7, 8, 9 hitters.
High and inside, almost clipped Josh Reinhold's chin. He'll take it for 2-1.
Coming up, so, you know, we'll see if they send Parker Dean back out. I assume they will. He looked really electric getting out of the jam.
Just 1 out. Well, we'll see what he does in a more extended time. 2-1, misses low, ball 3. Josh Reinhold already with a walk today. He's 1 ball away from doing so again. You got to imagine that Capuano's getting a little tired. Deep into his tenure on the mound. 3-1. Misses high and inside. Ball 4. Josh Reinhold takes a base. So now there's a runner in scoring position. That's Carter Hines with Josh Reinhold at first base.
OJ trying to do some damage here. Get that ultra-valuable insurance run. Because at this point in the game, I mean, insurance runs are like gold, Jish.
You will need that insurance run, but Sal Colangelo does not want to give it up. The Big Train coach goes out to meet his lefty on the mound, his righty on the mound. With his glove off, it appears as though his day is done. They've already gone through a handful of pitchers already, 4 already. Doesn't appear as though someone's coming out from the bullpen, though, so perhaps he'll stay out there. Colangelo just screwing his head on straight. not wanting to send out a fifth pitcher, Jack.
It's one of those situations. It's early in the season. Teams do not want to burn through that bullpen. Still, very important game. And Colangelo has been doing this for a long time. He's going to feel out Capuano, feel out, if he still has some juice left, and he thinks he does.
The velocity has taken a little bit of a toll as it's gone on. Placement still has been there. These batters have seen these pitches a little bit better. There's 2 outs and 2 on. Cropdusters batting with a 1-run lead. 8-7 in the top of this 8th inning. Ahia Kojay up to bat. Here's the first pitch. And that's in there, strike 1. A good pep talk from Colangelo. Got his righty throwing strikes again.
Capuano's done a really nice job tonight of locating that breaking ball and getting ahead early in counts with it.
Kojay's 1 for 4 on the night. Takes one inside, but it's there, strike 2. Same exact spot with a little bit more heat and a little higher. Kojay now has to shorten up. And an 0-2 with 2 outs.
Inning doubles up on the breaking ball there, Jish, and now he's ahead 0-2.
Kojay takes one off the dirt and sends it foul to stay alive.
So now Kojay's seen 3 straight off-speed pitches, 3 straight breaking balls. We'll see if Capuano wants to bust him inside with a fastball, try to change the eye level, change the velo.
The inside has worked for Capuano against Kojay. Keeps on the ground. Shortstop makes a diving grab, but he can't keep it in his mitt. Kojay reaches first safely, and all runners advance to juice the bases with 2 outs, and Ryan Boma up to bat. The insurance run becomes a little bit easier, but he has to put one in play with 2 outs.
That was a phenomenal play by Jordan Crosland to keep that ball in the infield, because if that gets into the outfield, if Crosland, dives to his right, doesn't knock that ball down, Hines is scoring, and it's going to be a 2-run ball game for the Cropdusters.
And now, Capuano is hoping he can take down Boma so he doesn't have to face Jimmy Kirk before the inning's up. Jimmy Kirk homered off of this pitcher last time.
Crowd eerily silent, Jish.
I feel we might be being a little too loud sitting on the concourse. First pitch goes with the off-speed inside. That's worked for him against the last batter. It works again, strike 1 against Ryan Boma, the righty. 0-1 with 2 outs. He's had success against lefties and righties. Capuano deals. That's 2 low, ball 1. Good eye from Boma. Thought about the swing, held up in time.
Boma 1 for 4 on the day.
Had an RBI last night. A run tonight as well. Plays catch-up to even things at 1-1. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Cropdusters lead by 1. Boma takes it. Breaking ball on the inside part of the strike zone again. Pays dividends, strike 2. Boma went to Sherwood High School. We've got Brad Scott to our right. His son also played at Sherwood High School with Boma. 1-2. Popped in the air to the third base side. That could drift out of bounds. Third baseman thinks he got it. He does. Out 3, leaves the bases loaded, and the Cropdusters hold on to a 1-run lead headed into the bottom of the 8th. A key opportunity missed for Ryan Boma. And the Big Train have a chance after a 3-run inning last time to pull it on even more. Stay with us on YouTube. We're not done yet.
the third baseman, Carter Newman.
I hope you got your popcorn, folks. It's an 8-7 ball game in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Cropdusters holding on to a narrow lead with the 7, 8, and 9 due up for the big train. Jish, Sokolsky, Jack Feldman on the call. Parker Dean on the mound for the Crops. Bunt showed it misses too low for ball 1, but now Carter Newman, the third baseman, has shown his cards, and Boma, you got to imagine that third base is going to start playing a little bit tighter.
Yeah, he's going to be playing, at the very least, even with the bag here.
1-0 the count, with a bunt perhaps on the way. Dean missed the bat the first time. 1-0. Righty finds the zone for strike 1, so Newman abandons the bunt, and watches that strike fly down the middle on the off-speed.
Yeah, Newman's just trying to find any way on. You know, Bowman's moving around a lot at third, you know, positioning-wise, depth-wise.
1-1. Spikes off the grass in the infield and over the head of the catcher for ball 2.
Davis still behind the dish. That is of note, as he is not traditionally a catcher Jish.
Had a pretty up-and-down tenure behind the plate in the last inning. Let a few get away from him, but did a good job blocking some of those wild pitches.
I think he did the best job you could ask him to do there.
2-1. Spiked off the plate and stays fair. No, rolls foul just barely.
Bowman was playing back at third. As soon as you saw that ball go in the air, you just got to let it roll foul.
And roll foul it did. So Newman trots back to the righty batter's box with a 2-2 count now. Shout out ballerinas. 8-7, the Cropdusters lead. The tying run at the plate for the big train, Carter Newman.
When you're playing third, you're moving around a lot based on who's up. If it's a fast guy up, you might be playing even in the bag. You know, if it's a 3-4-5 hitter, you might be playing a little deeper because balls do come at you hot at the hot corner.
Hot corner. Misses low and inside ball 3. A full count on the leadoff hitter for the big train. Cropdusters lead 8-7. Bottom of the 8th inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes, no outs. Check this swing. Sunk too low. Ball 4. Carter Newman takes a base. The tying run's at first. And now it's Josh Skoronski up to bat for the big train. Huge day for him so far. 2 doubles and 3 at-bats. 2 runs as well. With an RBI, he sparked the comeback in the last inning. And now he has a chance to drive in the runner at first if he has another big swing.
You know, Ben Davis is going to have to do everything in his power to block up the ball. You do not want the time run advancing to scoring position.
Check swing, sends it foul, strike 1. Skoronski sporting a pink bat. Nice and bright. I love that. I love that choice.
You're a fan of that look?
I'm a fan of that look. You're wearing the pink polo. I got it. I mean, you know, if I wasn't a fan of the bat, you'd probably have to feel some offense. 1 runner on, no outs. A strike and a ball. No balls. Here's the pitch. Misses for ball 1.
He's trying to do his best to get a ground ball here.
Fastball misses outside on the lefty Skoronski. You could hear a pin drop here at Shirley Povich Field. Fans anticipating what's to come. The 1-1. Misses high, ball 2.
Cannot be giving any free passes here. If you're Parker Dean, you have to come in throwing strikes. Have to make it tough on big trains.
A blessing for Dean would be a double play to perhaps rid the possibility of facing the top of the order. Fouled backwards, strike 2.
Coach Leader has the bullpen up. You know, he's got some double action going on. Can't quite see who's warming up, but
I believe it's Steve Shenning and Brandon Brown, 2 returners for the Cropdusters.
I mean, Coach Leader is not going to let this game get away from them. He's going to use as many pitchers as it takes.
He puts more emphasis on Big Train games than most any other games in the Cal Ripken League, just because of how dominant the Big Train have been. That's in there, a looking strike 3. Skoronski doesn't like it, but he's sent packing. Parker Dean dusts him for the first out of the inning.
Massive strikeout there for Parker Dean. He's now 1 pitch away. If he can get a ground ball and the Dusters can turn 2, that would be massive.
1 out and a runner at first. Cropdusters holding on to an 8-7 lead in the bottom of the 1st inning. Or the 8th inning. Wow, if it was the 1st inning, what a long game this would be. It's Luca Perriello, the bottom of the order hitter. Looks at one up in the strike zone, but it's in there for strike one.
Jish, that would almost be reminiscent of last night's game. That was a long one.
4 hours. 6-run, 8th inning. We were just kind of begging for it to be over at that point. This one, we don't want it to end. 1 out, 1 on. Here's the pitch. That's low. Runner goes. Davis can't find the ball, and the runner slides into second safely. The tying run's in scoring position, Jack.
That's a tremendous job there by Carter Newman. Did not look like he was originally going on the pitch. It looked like he read that ball in the dirt, and he was halfway to second by the time Ben Davis could even block the ball.
Even count with a runner in scoring position, and 1 out takes the double play off the table. Perriello, no hits today. Takes one outside, ball 2. Backdoor slider, can't find the zone.
Parker Dean really has to bear down here. You do not want to face the top of that big train lineup. Jordan Crosland lurking on deck. He's been unbelievable today.
2 for 3 with 3 RBIs for the shortstop. 2-1. Swings and misses, went fishing and caught a turtle. 2-2 the count with 1 out. Perriello has been very impressive behind the plate, very disciplined at the bat, with 2 walks, but a strikeout to his name as well.
He's had a solid game on both sides of the ball, behind the dish as well.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Takes it low, full count, ball 3.
Jish, this is a massive pitch because if Kuehn can get the strikeout, then you can think about, putting Feldman on at first, doing something like that.
That's kind of what's played out the last time this turn was at play. Perriello struck out, Crosland reached base, but they got out of it. Full count, 1 out, tying run at second. Here's the pitch. Too low, ball 4. And now the double play still exists.
Double play exists, but we're facing the hottest hitter in the big train lineup right now.
Crosland started off 2 for 2.
Shortstop.
Flew out in his last at-bat.
Crosland.
Or walked in his last at-bat. 2 on.
Starting to wake back up.
Absolutely, with the go-ahead run at first base and a home run hitter at the plate. There's a lot to be excited about if you're a big train fan. Cropdusters lead 8-7, bottom of the 7th. Ball misses low and gets away from Davis. Runners will take second and third. Sokolsky thought about running around home, Newman thought about running around home from third base, but good cover from Dean as the ball gets away from him. Now both runners are in scoring position. Double plays off the table, and the sac fly to tie the game is on the table. We've seen the pop from Crosland already. If he hits another one out there, we could be staring at an 8-8 ball game in the bottom of this 8th.
Double plays off the table, and they're going to put Crosland on at first.
Intentional walk.
They're going to take the bat out of his hands. I think that's the right move, Jish. I think you've already fallen behind him. You got a guy on deck that is yet to have a hit.
0 for 4 on the day, Jaden Bastian, the 2-hole hitter. Boos rain out from the big train crowd. Smart move for the Cropdusters. They want to see their slugger hit.
It's answered by Coach.
Not out of the woods yet. Parker Dean's got to hope for some weak contact right here.
Jaden Bastian, Jacksonville player.
And before Parker Dean deals with these bases loaded, Adam Leader is going to talk to his righty, and he makes a signal to the bullpen, too. It appears as though Parker Dean's night is done, and they're going to bring in a fresh arm to get them out of this situation.
Just a really tough spot for whoever coming out of this bullpen is going to have to face.
Got to bring out the binoculars to see where that is, but running in through the outfield, I believe that's Steve Shenning. Another 3-year Cropduster. Well, I guess 1.5 years, because last season he only played 1 game for the Crops. A really impressive start against the Senators in the Cropdusters' home opener. Threw 6 strikeouts that game. Inherent a very disadvantageous position.
Shenning, the senior, has a ton of experience pitching in college baseball. You know he's going to be ready for this moment. Maryland native. Pitched in 27.7 innings. last season for Wilmington.
Steve Schenning, a transfer from Mount St. Mary's, loves it with the Cropdusters. He told me that if he could play here next year, he would, but his college eligibility is running out. Believe he
You
still
can have a drag year.
I think he still has a year left because he did take a gap year his sophomore year, if I'm not mistaken. Now maybe we can count the summer last year as a red shirt. You think that would count?
Number 36.
Didn't get the innings, I don't know.
University, Stephen Schenning.
Steve Schenning, one of the more exciting pitchers on this Cropdusters roster, and one of the nicer guys, too. I'm excited to see him deal.
Great guy. Bases loaded. 1 out. Tying run 90 feet away. You know, if Bastian can elevate a ball into the outfield, he can get that sac fly to tie the game up. But Schenning is just 1 pitch away, 1 ground ball away.
At this point.
Bastian, you know, the center fielder, he does run pretty well, so it will be hard to double him up.
Steve Schenning, looking for strikes. That's really all you can look for in a situation like this. There was about 88 on that fastball. At least that was last summer. This season, after a lot of juice in college, that's one thing these past 2 pitchers didn't have. They didn't have a ton of run on them, but Schenning has seen quite a bit on his arm already this season. Perhaps that's the change that the Cropdusters need.
He's a guy that can throw strikes, he can fill it up because you do not want to walk in the time run here. You know Schenning's going to be fired up for this moment.
Through 29 strikeouts this college season. A 4.55 ERA. Not bad for almost 30 innings pitched.
So here we go, Jish.
After the intentional walk, the bases are loaded with 1 out. The Cropdusters lead by 1, but the big train can bust it wide open with a hit from the 2-hole hitter, the center fielder, Jaden Bastian. Jacksonville righty meets Wilmington righty on the mound, Steve Schenning.
Schenning steps off, you know, he needs to make sure he's on the same page with Ben Davis here.
Schenning lets the right arm dangle, now settles in for the first pitch. Here comes a check swing on the curveball for ball 1. Good eye from Bastian as that one sinks too low. And now already Ben Davis, the catcher, pops up and talks to his righty Schenning on the mound.
Looks like Ben Davis may have gotten trucked up a little bit there. He goes out to talk to Schenning after that pitch. A little bit of an awkward squeeze on that breaking ball. And if that is the case, that's a tremendous play. As Davis, you know, was mentioning to the dugout about it. Tremendous play. It's so hard when a catcher gets crossed up to keep the ball in front of you. And especially with a tied run, to do that is huge by Davis.
1 ball, no strikes. Schenning likes the signal from Davis behind the plate. The 1-0. Misses inside, ball 2. Breaking ball doesn't fool the center fielder, and here comes the choo-choos from the big train in the stadium. Perhaps no bigger moment tonight than right now.
You have to imagine Bastian is going to get a pitch to hit sooner or later. Cannot walk him.
A walk would bring in the tying run. 2-0. That's in the skinny part of the strike zone with some heat. Strike 1. Steve Schenning doing what he does best, throwing strikes in the inside portion of the strike zone to that righty.
Boy, whenever these 2 teams play, man, just the tension in the stadium right now is palpable.
Everyone with bated breaths. The 2-1 pitch sinks too low for ball 3. Schenning 1 ball away from tying this game up. Cropdusters lead 8-7 in the bottom of the 8th with bases loaded and just 1 out. Schenning trying to bait for weak contact. Here's the 3-1. That's sent backwards to fill the count up. 3 balls, 2 strikes. I feel like we say this almost every time there's a full count, but the way this game has gone, this is probably the most important pitch to this point.
You've got to imagine if Big Train is able to tie this game up, you know, we might be seeing Max Martzoff, just the dominant closer for Big Train.
He did pitch on Monday, or on Saturday. That is lined into left and does not, and falls for a base hit. Poche can't make the squeeze. 1 run scores. The go-ahead run rounds third, and he will get there. The Big Train lead 9-8 in the bottom of the 7th off of the clutch hitting from Jaden Bastian.
It's a great piece of hitting. 3-1 count. Walk brings in a run. He's looking to get a hit and does just that. As Crochet came close, but did not make the diving play.
Still 1 out, and now runners exist at 2nd and 3rd.
And Jish, that's a play where, obviously, if Crochet wants to do everything he can to keep the lead, but even if he makes a diving play, the time run's probably coming in on the sacrifice fly there. So he just really needed to keep that ball ahead of him, and now, Cropdusters gave up the lead.
Shenning faces the heart of the order now, the 3-hole hitter. And the lefty faces off against the righty Shenning. Here's the first pitch. Chop to the first base. Parker Fry tags up on first unassisted for the 2nd out, and it holds the runner at 3rd too. Great body language from Fry to good baseball awareness to keep it pinned.
Yeah, Fry did a good job there. As soon as he secured the ball in his glove, gave a look over to Crosslin at 3rd, saw he was staying put, and then went to jog over to 1st with the out.
Number 45, Emilio Gonzalez.
Now a pinch hitter in for the Big Train at the 4-hole spot, so Matthew Wesley's day is done. It's Emilio Gonzalez, the infielder from FAU. Made the all-freshman team in the AAC from Cape Coral, Florida. A very impressive freshman year.
Big spot for Shenning to try to keep the lead at 1.
First pitch misses low, ball 1. Gonzalez with his first at-bat of the night. He stands tall, 6'4", 225. Hit a couple of homers in college this season. One right here could bust this game wide open. Even a hit would probably drive in 2. The 1-0. He swings and misses. Got a piece of it. Foul tip, strike 1.
That's a filthy breaking ball by Shenning.
Gonzalez thought he timed it up well. Got a piece of it, but it sunk just below his bat to even things up at a ball and a strike. Shenning just 1 out away from getting out of this. Inherited a bases-loaded situation. 1-1, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Checks his swing. Did he go?
He did.
Yes, he did. Tip of that bat just barely grazed around the 3rd base line, so that's strike 2.
Jish, I thought that was a called strike there. I thought that was in there. So.
I thought so too. And even so, I thought the bat went around regardless. A strike, regardless. It's 9:50 p.m. This game is going on and on, but you don't want it to end. 1-2, he keeps it on the ground, up to Shenning, and deflects off him for a hit. 1 run scores, and Gonzalez reaches first safely. The Big Train getting insurance run. It's 10-8 in the bottom of the 8th.
It's just some bad luck for the Cropdusters. It looked like there would have been an infielder there to make that play if didn't hit off of Shenning's glove, and now it's a 2-run lead for the Big Train.
Shenning tried the no-look spin-away grab, but hand just wasn't in the right spot, and now there's a runner at 3rd and a runner at 1st. Big Train lead by 2 in the bottom of the 8th. It's Chris Diaz, the designated hitter, up to bat. With 2 outs, Force at 2nd and 1st. See how Shenning responds. 1-0 after the fastball misses high and away against the lefty.
Shenning really trying to keep it at a 2-run game, because then, you're a bloop and a blast away, Jish.
1-0 the count. 2 outs. Check swing, and it's too low, ball 2. 2 balls to no strikes. Steve Shenning has kind of adjusted between his stances before he throws. Sometimes he has that right arm dangling down. Sometimes he stands up straight before he settles into pitch. Dangles the arm before this 2-0 pitch. Here's the 2-0. Breaking ball misses outside, ball 3. Diaz not biting on any of these outside pitches that Shenning is throwing his way. Big Train leads by 2. 3-0, it misses high and away, ball 4. A 4-pitch walk to load the bases again.
Load the bases for Landon Franklin, the second baseman. And this is a situation where, these teams are going to see each other quite a lot this season, so obviously we'd like to get the first one. Something tells me this is just going to be a little bit of foreshadowing for the matchups we got between these two teams in the future, Jish.
Big Train took the first game in the opening night last season. A 10-5 victory where the pitching just did not go right at all. They got 10 again in this one. The breaking ball finds the inside part of the zone. Strike one.
Good job by Jenny to get ahead. It's been getting squeezed a little bit this inning.
One strike to no balls. Schenning looking a little bit more confident after throwing the strike. Here's the 0-1. That's in there too. Strike two. So Schenning, after a 4-pitch walk, delivers back with 2 straight strikes. Looking to salvage this.
Franklin hitless tonight with 2 Ks. Gets back-to-back curveballs there by Schenning.
The 0-2. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Too low. It's away from Davis, the catcher, and another run will score from third on the wild pitch. Runners advance to second and third, and there's base runners at second and third again. It's 11-8. The Big Train lead over the Cropdusters off the wild pitch. That's heartbreaking with just 1 strike away from getting out of it. Now a safe situation is still in play for the Big Train, but they score 1 more run, then it takes some pressure off the reliever coming in next for the Big Train. 1-2. Fouled off towards the left side to stay alive at 1-2. And last time the Cropdusters played here was in the semifinal round of the playoffs, a 15-7 loss in Game 3. The Cropdusters could have won that in 2 had it not been for an error in Game 1 on a throw from third to first. Heartbreaking stuff. 1-2. Kept on the ground and threw for a base hit beyond the outstretched glove of Boma. 1 run scores. A second one comes around from second. A standing double for Landon Franklin balloons this lead to 5. It's 13-8. The Big Train have scored 6 in the bottom of this 8th inning.
And that's just how quickly baseball can change. Cropdusters came into the inning with a lead, and now they're down 5 runs.
That one was inches away from going foul, too. Just barely kept its head inside, and now the order is turned over. Carter Newman started this inning off, and he gets the swing again against the new pitcher this time, and Steve Schenning with a runner at second. The Big Train can make this even easier as Ben Looper, the pitching coach, goes to talk to his righty.
Yeah, Ben Looper's going to go have a conversation with Schenning.
It's really been tough sledding. I mean, the Cropdusters had it. They came into this inning with a 1-run lead. They had a 7-4 lead at one point in this game. And these past 2 innings, the Big Train have just been unleashed. Scored 9 runs in these past 2. To retake
they poured it on here.
Absolutely.
Whoever's coming out of that Big Train bullpen in the next inning is going to be filthy.
Garrett Corbett, first reliever for the Cropdusters, was dealing too. Shut down the Big Train lineup, and when he was subbed out, pitching kind of crumbled just a bit. They've gone through 3 pitchers since. Steve Schenning, the third of those 3. He's got a runner at second with 2 outs. He was just 1 strike away from ending the inning. Instead, allows 2 more runs to come in off the double. 2 outs and a runner at second. Here's the pitch from Schenning. Checks his swing, but it's in there. A called strike 1. Nice fastball high. Newman had second thoughts. 1 strike to no balls and 2 outs. A look back. And the delivery. Checks his swing again, and it's in there again for strike 2. Finding that top inside corner, Schenning again ahead early in this count, but we saw it get away from him last time.
Yeah, Schenning 1 pitch away from getting out of the inning.
Sound like a broken record. 0-2, a shake-off, and he likes the second signal. A look back and the 0-2. That's in there, a looking strike 3. Schenning finally gets out of it. 6 runs scratch across for the Big Train in the bottom of this 8th. The Cropdusters have 1 more chance to surmount a 5-run deficit. 13-8 after 8. 3 outs away from another big train win, but the Cropdusters have had more miraculous comebacks. We'll see how it plays out. Jimmy Kirk will lead off when we return. Well, folks, it would take a miracle for the Cropdusters to come back in this one. After a 6-run 8th inning from the big train, the Cropdusters trail 13-8 at the top of the 9th. Same pitcher is out for the big train, Jordan Capuano, through 2 1/3 innings pitched.
The designated hitter.
Still going out there for the close. He's only given up 2 earned runs in that time with 4 hits, but one of those hits was a home run to Jimmy Kirk. And Jimmy
4
Kirk
for 4 today.
Jimmy Kirk is back out, and instead of letting him hit, he'll bean him. Pitch hits Kirk on the shoulder, so he'll take a base and sends Griffin Pouvel up to bat.
So, I mean, an ideal start for the Cropdusters, but they're going to have a lot of work to do to get back into this one.
Still a 5-run deficit, 13-8, the big train lead over the Cropdusters. But that's one way to start. Just get on base. That's all the Crops can ask for this late in the game. Kirk at first and no outs, and Pouvel at the plate. Here's the pitch. He swings through a fastball, strike one. No part of the ball did he strike.
So this is the part of the game where you just have to go at-bat by at-bat. You know, just try to have as many good at-bats as possible, get guys on.
Pouvel 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Getting heckled by the crowd after strike 2. He missed on another big swing there.
Yeah, Pouvel looks like his timing's a little off, a little late here.
2 strikes, no balls, no outs, and a runner at first. Here's the pitch. Pouvel lets it go, but it's in there. Strike 3. Another 3-pitch strikeout. Griffin Pouvel is sent back to the the dugout, with now 4 strikeouts on the day.
Right fielder, Coy Swanson.
So now Coy Swanson up to bat for the Dusters, trying to keep the line moving.
Coy Swanson hit a home run earlier this game. That is his only hit. 3 at-bats. 1 out. Takes it low, ball 1. Kirk, the other home run hitter for the Cropdusters today. Or excuse me, a pinch runner's now in. That's Brian Scott in for Jimmy Kirk. Playing a little bit of small ball. Scott's got a little bit more speed at that first base spot.
I was going to say, I was like, man, Jimmy Kirk looks real athletic at first.
Looks a little smaller out there, too. Second pitch finds the outside portion, strike 1. Swanson waiting for his pitch. Didn't want to reach for that one. The lefty dealing against the righty. 1-1, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Too low, over the head of the catcher, and Scott will jog into second. Sets up the Cropdusters for another run to come in off the wild pitch from Capuano.
Yeah, Capuano's pitched. Threw a lot of pitches here, especially early in summer ball. Trying to finish it up for Bethesda.
2-1 the count, 1 out. A lot of these big train guys don't stay the full season. That one misses high, ball 3. Got a good rotating cast of both pitchers and batters. A real farm system, if you will, in Bethesda.
Yeah, but that's also a challenge when You know, you're trying to gel as a team, and you got guys coming in, coming out. A lot of these guys playing in other leagues.
3-1, Swanson takes a fastball high for ball 4. He'll take a base.
So, a hit batter and a walk for Capuano. Looks like coach is going to go have a talk with his pitcher, maybe call to the bullpen.
It's been quite a bit of work for Capuano thus far. Doesn't appear as though there's a little bit of movement in the bullpen. It looks like there is a reliever coming out now for Capuano. Should not be too displeased with his performance, though, through 2 2/3 innings pitched.
He did a good job tonight.
Absolutely.
Kept them in the game when they were losing, and then when they came back.
If the result holds, a well-deserved win for Capuano.
1 out in the inning. Cropdusters down to their final 2 outs.
And there's runners at first and second, so double play is on the table, but Parker Fry, last time he was up to bat, mashed one to right field. His first at-bat of the game. Came all the way around on a hit from Carter Hines. And you know, if the Cropdusters do end up losing this game, there's still a lot to hang your hat on. A very competitive game after going down big early, a 4-0 game after 2 innings. Cropdusters scored 7 straight. Unfortunately, the wheels just kind of came off at the end as they were going in for the landing. Pardon my plain pun.
Looks like it's going to be Jonathan Stevens.
Jonathan Stevens, the new reliever in
Alabama pitcher, the sophomore.
They've got 4 Alabama pitchers on roster, the Big Train.
Now pitching for the
Ranked the
Big Train,
3rd best
from
right-handed
University
pitcher in
of
Alabama by a
number
perfect game and by a Prep Baseball report.
Stevens.
Hailing from Birmingham. Here or there, they love the governor. Boo hoo hoo. Get that reference? Home Alabama. Cropdusters have a Bama player of their own. Sammy Weiss. He had some playing time today behind the dish. The catcher, but his day is done after 3 at-bats. He had 1 hit that brought in a run.
Jonathan Stevens, the freshman, has not seen playing time this season, but he was the number 12 recruit in Alabama, according to Perfect Game, 3rd ranked right-handed pitcher.
He also played basketball in high school at 6'2", 220. I mean, in the NBA, that's the size of a point guard, but high school, that might be the size of a big man.
Brother's name is Joshua.
Look at that. Wonder if we know anyone named Joshua. Maybe somebody on this broadcast.
Yeah, breaking news, guys. Jish's real name is not...
They don't need to know that. Parker Fry, the lefty, to bat against the righty Stevens. Cropdusters trail 13-8, but a well-hit ball from Fry here could cut into that with just 2 outs left in this ball game if the result holds. First pitch, Fry swings that to opposite field and foul, strike 1, showing no fear on the first pitch, a low heater.
Yeah, Stevens coming in, chucking it, and Fry was a little late on that pitch.
That's why you go to Alabama, young man. That kind of heat, I don't know what the Jack Idar says, but I'm thinking low to mid-90s on that pitch.
The Jack Idar says fast. That's all I got.
Expert analysis. 0-1. Takes one in the strike zone, strike 2. Another high heater this time. Fry caught staring at it. Runners at first and second. Fry needs to get a good barrel on this ball. The 0-2 with 1 out, 2 on. Here's the pitch. Too high over the head of the catcher. Scott takes 3rd, and Coy Swanson takes 2nd. So both runners are in scoring position. Double play off the table. Parker Fry just needs to nail one to the outfield to put this game a little bit more in reach.
Yeah, Stevens was throwing strikes earlier, so maybe that knocks him out of his rhythm a little bit.
A ball and 2 strikes, 1 out and 2 on. Parker Fry already with a hit today. The lefty stands 6'5". Takes one low, ball 2. Stevens trying to work it looks as though that's a sinker in there.
Like a slider.
Maybe
Some sort. Hard slider.
a very hard slider, I would say, but a lot of break regardless. It looked a little more north-south than east-west to me, but 2-2.
Cutter.
Who knows? 2-2 with 1 out. It's lethal pitch if it finds the zone. Loud crack in the bat to first. A pitch to underhand pitch to first base puts Parker Frey to bed, but Ryan Scott scores from third to make it a 13-9 game, with the runner advanced to third and Ben Davis up to bat with just one out to give.
Just electric stuff breaking the bat of Parker Frey. And now the Cropdusters are down to their final out in Ben Davis.
A very loud crack at 10:07 that probably woke some little kids up past their bedtime. 2 outs, the first baseman and catcher, Ben Davis, up to bat. Takes one high. It's above the head of the catcher, and coming home is Coy Swanson to clear the bases, and it put the 10th run across for the Cropdusters.
I mean, this guy is throwing so hard that Perriello, on a high pitch like that, knocked him back.
Tried his best to bring it back down from Asgard to Earth. 1-0 the count. Ben Davis now dealing with empty bases. A 3-run deficit for the Cropdusters. And 2 outs. Well, none on. Stevens from the windup. Finds the zone with ease. Strike one. Top right corner with the heat.
Now Stevens just sticking to the fastball for the most part.
I mean, it's almost unhittable. It's borderline uncatchable for the catcher. That one is hit. Sunk too low, but Davis swings it into the outfield for a base hit. This game is not over just yet.
It's a great piece of hitting by Ben Davis. When you're facing this velocity, you're just trying to shorten up. Gets a pitch low in the zone, then golfs it into center field. Keep the line moving, keep the game afloat for the Cropdusters.
Love that. Golfs it in. Yeah, it looked like he was swinging a driver there. 4. Lands right in front of the center fielder for a base hit, and now the tying run's on deck if they get there. It's still 2 outs in the top of this 9th. Cropdusters trail by 3, a 13-10, high-scoring, exciting game. Carter Hines at the plate. He makes contact with the first one he sees and drops it into the outfield for a base hit. This game isn't over. Davis rounds for third. The throw is not on time. It was cut off. So with 2 outs, the tying run is at the plate. Josh Reinhold at the top of the order.
Reinhold had 3 homers this season at Christopher Newport. Now would be a great time for his first one of the summer.
If he can time up one of those fastballs, it's a little easier to hit a fastball out of the park if you can get the bat on it.
And how impressive has Carter Hines been, just doing the same thing he did earlier, going to right field.
Choked up on that one for contact to get on. 2 outs. First pitch high and inside, ball 1.
When you face some of these high-octane arms, you get them a little rattled. They're expecting to mow 3, but you get them a little rattled now. We're seeing Stevens maybe not throw as many strikes.
1-0. Here's the pitch. Misses high again, ball 2. Reinhold seeing it well. Has a low crouch in his batting position in that right box. So
if Reinhold can get on Ehi Okoji on deck, he had 8 bombs. Hartford Community College this year.
That would give the Cropdusters the lead. He swings through some high heat for strike 1. Timed it a little too late. And that was on the changeup, too. Stevens going a little more off-speed in the high heat. On the high pitch, excuse me. 2-1, 2 outs. Runners in the corners. Here's the pitch. He swings and misses again on strike 2. So the Big Train are 1 strike away from ending this game. Josh Reinhold saw it well on the first 2 pitches, but swung through the last 2.
Yeah, Stevens knows Reinhold is late on the fastball, so, don't expect anything other than that hot heat here.
2-2. That's high and inside, ball 3, a full count with the game on the line. And 2 outs, high and inside. Stevens has not even tempted Reinhold with a lower pitch.
Reinhold has to choke up, do whatever he can to catch up to the fastball.
3-2, runner goes, he swings and misses, that's the Big Train win, 13-10. A real back-and-forth affair, and a lot for the Cropdusters to be proud of, but they fall to 1-2 on the year. Big Train is still undefeated at 2-0.
Yeah, it's just, a back-and-forth battle the entire game. Couple of homers, by both teams. And Cropdusters fall just short, but the offense looked good again. They put up some really good at-bats. They put up some really good at-bats in that last inning. Carter Hines, Ben Davis, both having great swings against that, high-octane fastball with Jonathan Stevens. So, Cropdusters fell just short, but a lot to be proud of.
A late scare from the big train, but they hold on and win thanks to the relieving the fast arm of Jonathan Stevens. He closes the game out, saves the game. Big Train win 13-10. Thanks for tuning in to this radio-style play-by-play. I'm Jish Sokolsky, joined by Jack Feldman, as always, giving some dazzling color. We'll see you tomorrow when the Cropdusters play the Giants at Criswell Field. Thanks for joining us.